East Coast my whole life. 12 years.
12 years?
12 years, yeah.
Okay, okay.
And
So
I'm
you
35. So a
you
third of my life I've been here in Florida. Well, more than a third, because technically I lived in Miami from birth to 6.
okay. So
So
you
half
already
my life I've been in Florida.
so you're used to the weather by now, right?
Yeah, I'm used to it for sure. I'm sweating.
No, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Cause I work outside. It's hot as hell.
Yeah. I wish I worked outside sometimes because then I just wouldn't care about the sweat. But I'm not trying to get sweaty just going to my car and back. I work from
Really?
home, so I barely go outside some weeks.
Why? Cause it's hot. It's hot.
No, I just I don't know, like if I already went grocery shopping for the week, right? And I'm not like going to a bar or anything or watching any sports, like I might just be inside all day because I work from like my other room.
Okay, 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 okay. Well, that's cool though. That's probably why you be so hot when you get outside. You be
It
inside a
probably
lot.
is, yeah, because I've been like this creature living in air conditioning, for most of the time. I go outside, I'm like, "The fuck is this?"
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That fucking we didn't even have a whole lot of rain and it wasn't even like a real storm, but it like fucked my computer up. Oh, for real? No, yeah, the lighting shit keeps cutting out too. Like it doesn't want to stay going.
Well, you'll probably get hit in a little bit because it just unless it disappears over the state, because we just got a pretty big storm.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, we're I can hear like thunder and in the distance, and we got a little bit of light rain like 10 minutes ago, but it wasn't nothing serious. It was serious enough, I guess, to turn my power off. So we only got three preseasons? Yeah, it's been like that. What? This is the fourth year. It's been three preseasons, and that's what I'm saying. Like with the way that Goodell is trying to take the NFL, like preseasons are going to be a thing of the past. Our new preseason is going to be joint practices. That's what it's going to be. Like joint practices are going to be the new preseason. You'll see them starting to get televised because right now the way that it's done, it's almost like the Wild Wild West out there, and that's why the NFL put that letter out to coaches this year, letting them know like we're not going to tolerate fighting at practices. There needs to be sportsmanship, like conduct, things like that, because you're just risking injuries. You're wasting people's time. Even Jeff Halfley said that. Me, remember Joe? Me and you were like,
Oh, yeah.
getting fights is just wasting people's time. It doesn't show anything. Nobody wants to get in a fight though. When you have a whole bunch of men fighting for a position, that their fights is gonna happen. Right? You have a whole bunch of angry, big, what I'm saying, muscular mans out there. What do you think gonna happen? Kumbaya? Yeah, but at the same time, though, if like they're out there fighting all the time, that shows that there ain't really no real unity in the locker room. And then how do we expect them to work together on a consistent basis? Not just through this year, but like through years. Let me tell you something. You need to fight to know where unity comes from, all right? Because when you get in that football field, it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a dog fight. So you need to find out where your warriors at. You don't want fights all the time, but you want a good old fight, man. You
I
want,
would
hey, I want to see what I got, man. Like,
I
because
would
that's what
agree
football's about, man.
at like a high school level, I would agree, right? And when people are still figuring out like who's a dog or not, but at the professional level, I think, and I've always been this way. Obviously, I've never been a professional, but I've always kind of taken it as like if someone's pissing you off, you just bottle that up and unleash it on them during the play. Like during the very next play, you block the shit out of them.
Yeah. But
So
you got
I'd much rather
to
our
go ahead.
players doing that, showing that they have the poise and the mental composure to not get us a flag during the season. I'd much rather see
Yeah.
that. I'd
Like,
rather see physical
let's
play
take
than
that
physical after
unsportsmanlike
the
conduct. Yeah, but you want them to get it out now. They're not professionals yet. Like, you know what I'm
Let's take
saying?
that unsportsmanlike conduct call from Ollie Gordon from the Commanders game, right? Like
let's put that into a real game scenario where we're trying to go down
So
the
you want
go
to
down the field and we have an opportunity to kick a field goal for a win. He does that and he pushes us back out of field goal range and now we end up
and you
playing
make a great.
instead of
What you and him are
field goal.
saying is perfect. Is true 100%. They have to go through preseason scrimmages to become professionals. They have to be coached. They don't automatically know, guys. They're human just like us.
So
You know
I
what I'm
want to
saying?
start talking about next week's game, right? So we have one more preseason game. We play the Atlanta Falcons.
Uh-huh.
Like with what we've seen so far, we've seen that the starters didn't get any reps during this game. Was it for one? Was it because Jeff Halfley is confident in the starters, or was he scared to risk injury? Like, what is your thoughts on why he didn't start the starters in week 2 against the Giants, and then we'll continue to go from there.
I'll go first because he knows what he has already, and we don't have nothing. And he has to know what he has in his backup group. He
Okay.
already know what he has in his first guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that coach is a smart guy, man. He already know what he got, and he's not trying to risk injury. He got to see what he has in his backup.
What about you, Joe?
I agree. I mean, I think as a fan, I still have my doubts, and I want to see what we have. But realistically, if Malik went out there and the other starters went out there and were shit, too
Oh,
late
yeah,
to do anything about it. You know,
Facts, true. That's another way to hire your
it's
starters
way
too,
too
right?
late in the preseason to do anything about it at this point. Um,
Facts.
so yeah, I mean, as long as the young guys are getting out there, which I would like to see Rodriguez out there more than he was because he's trash and no one's willing to admit it.
How do you feel about that Rodriguez missed tackle yesterday?
I mean, I've been calling it since the day he was drafted.
Joe, I want to hear your opinion, but you be saying some
Well,
crazy shit. You don't
this
feel like he's
guy,
good, so
yes,
you
like
wait,
people
wait,
are
wait,
in
wait,
love with
wait,
Jacob
wait.
Rodriguez
Before you
for a
go,
few reasons.
Joe, before you start, let me ask you this, all right?
Mhm.
So you saying we don't have good scouters? Because if you're saying he trash, because that's one thing me and Cat and the Hat talked about earlier about scout. Go ahead. Now you can take off.
Um, Jacob Rodriguez had a hot season in college this past year, but even in that season, he had some issues. But the seasons before, he also had the same major glaring issues. One of them being that he over pursues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other being that
Which is what caused him to miss that
he does
tackle
not have
yesterday.
long arms. Both of these things lead to a lot of missed tackles. Over his college career, he missed 1 in 6 tackles. Now, he cleaned that up in his final year a little bit. He still had a lot of missed tackles, but he cleaned it up. But that just means that his other years were that much worse. Um, so he does have 1 in 6
That,
missed tackles is a lot for an inside linebacker, and he's also very short. So I have
that's
concerns
one.
in the pass game, even though he jumps like Super Mario, I do have concerns against some of those bigger tight ends.
So if you ever like how you was able to break it down and see that, you don't think these guys that get the top evaluators that get paid like they get paid for this, right? You're not getting paid
Well,
for
I
that. You
think
just
they
watch
didn't
the
know if they were
game.
gonna keep Brooks when they drafted him. So I
But
think
no,
seeing
besides
that
that, it could be somebody else that's better than him, right? Because if you can see that,
well,
why they
personally,
can't see it?
I think we forced the move on Chris Johnson, and I think we drafted Jacob Rodriguez because we didn't know if Brooks would be here even this year, let alone long term.
I understand that part though. I'm just saying the way you broke it down, you evaluated him. You know what I'm saying? Since it's that one year, and you can see that mishap that he misses a lot of tackles
Yeah.
and it carries over. You can see that, right? You telling me like they couldn't see that?
Well, my
No, I
question
think they
is,
could.
like,
I
my
think they
question
could, and
is,
they're probably looking
my
at it as something that they can help improve. They're looking at it
okay,
as something that he can get coached out of, the
right,
over pursuit.
and that was going to be my question, right? So if we go back and we look through his career in college, playing at that position, was there progress? Like what Joe was saying, like in year 1, was it a
Yeah, in
lot
his
of
final
missed
year, he
tackles
improved it.
compared to where he's at now?
His final year was
Okay,
great,
okay,
but he still had some missed tackles in that final year, but it was much better than, his
okay,
previous years, and overall, he had a very strong year in other categories, including those
okay.
forced fumbles.
Okay, okay, okay. So he's like a almost like a playmaker type.
Yeah, he does the peanut punch just about every time, which pisses me off, right? It's gonna get us happy when we finally get a turnover out of it, but going for the punch when you should be going for the hit and
Uh,
reducing the amount of yards this player gets after contact would be my priority as a inside linebacker, but like,
Well, I think if he can get the peanut punch and still complete tackles, then it's not going to be an issue, right?
yeah, but
right.
he's saying,
Cleanup.
but he's
He's
saying,
not holding them they're getting an extra 2 yards because he's
Yeah,
focused on the punch
that's one
instead
thing
of
the
but
stopping
peanut
them in the
has
tracks.
really off.
we don't need that extra 3 yards. We need you to stop them and make them lose a yard.
At least
Forward
safety is
progress or something. But my next question for the upcoming preseason game, we know that Jeff Halfley so far in these last two games hasn't really schemed up anything for wins. It was more so just kind of getting film, like going out there, do the calls that we call, so that I can get the film on you. I can see you in these real live situations, and we can go from there, so that I can coach you. You know, because like how you coach them. Going against the Falcons, does he need to go into this game and actually scheme a win out of this, or is this just another
We at least
opportunity
need
to
points.
get more film?
I think we at
Hmm.
least need points. We need to get double digit points, right? Like, I
Okay.
if we go through all of the preseason games, not even being able to get more than, like, a field goal or a Achane touchdown, I think that's a problem. I think
I agree.
that's a problem. I mean, some people say preseason doesn't matter, but if you're that bad across every single drive of the preseason, unless it's purely the QB's fault, um, I'm a little bit worried, if that happens again. I also hope that Tua plays so that we could get some little bit of closure, right? See him be trash against us and just feel warm inside about something. That would be nice. But imagine what the conversations are going to be like if he goes out there and leads like 2 touchdown drives against us. Imagine those conversations if we still didn't do shit and he, even though it's preseason, does that.
And that's my biggest worry, right? And my biggest worry is the Falcons coming in here and doing to us what the Giants did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 23 to or 26-3, like just complete dominance on in all phases of football. Whether you're trying to get tape or not, like that's not the type of football. I'm hoping that's not the type of football we're going to be expect to see in the regular season.
But one thing you gotta realize too, though, I don't think he's really gonna do anything though. I think he's gonna play with the players to see who's gonna get cut or not,
Yeah.
because they still gotta make a cut list. So I don't know.
And that was going to be that leads right into the next question, right? So now, do we do we not start our starters again and just
Not gonna
play
start.
all of our backups, or do we put our starters out there at some point?
See nothing but backups.
Well, who went down again? Trey Moore? Whoever would be
Trey
playing
Mo-
in Trey Moore's spot is gonna be getting a lot of snaps.
Who would that be?
According to the depth chart, it was, some random guy, I think. I don't think it was Willie Gay, but in the article I just read, they said that Willie Gay would be getting more time.
Yeah, because I think he's fighting for his. I think he's fighting for his spot right now. Honestly, like I said, having him out there dancing and shit after he missed the tackle is not a good look for Halfley.
I mean, are they treating, Lewis as a, linebacker?
Lewis had two missed tackles on kick returns yesterday. That was not cool.
Has GJ Campbell been playing?
What number is he? 67?
I don't remember.
I think it's 67.
I'm wondering if any of these draft picks are gonna be doing anything tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week. Wait, when is the game?
I think it's Saturday night again. It's either Saturday night or Friday night.
I'll think about
I have
going
to
down
look at
there.
my I have to look at my app. I don't know the exact day. I know that I'll be down there.
What are tickets, like $30?
I don't know. I got fucking season tickets, so
Right. Parking's
You
probably like
going?
yeah. But I got solo tickets, so me by myself this year.
You can get them glasses, the med glasses, man.
They're not good for because I'm up in the 300s and you can't really zoom with those. So
Don't you go there early though when they have the little free
some
game still?
sometimes, especially now that I'm going by myself, I'll be able to get there early, like
Yeah, you
a
put those
lot
type of
early,
things.
to where I can go hang out at some of the tailgates and shit and go mingle with other fans.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because usually when it's like I'm going with my kids, I can't get there early. I'm getting there. We're rushing into the stadium. Same with the wife, she
Yeah.
like takes forever, so it's like getting there and rushing into the stadium.
Well, now you Olo, so you get that early drop some contents in the front, man.
I ain't doing it for that, but yeah, maybe here and
I
there.
mean, you got
I
season
hate
tickets.
squeezing into those seats, man.
What
I'll
happened?
be right back.
I hate squeezing into those seats.
It's not so
The,
bad. This
a
year
few
won't
years
be
ago,
bad.
the AFC, East roundtable?
Yeah.
They did, like, a get-together thing at the stadium and rented, like a private, like, area. It wasn't like a box seat, but it was, like, on the other you ever seen those bars where, like, on the other
Yeah,
side you have
I
kind of
know what
like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, so we had the bar and standing room tables and then, like, the stools that overlooked the field, and it was
Right.
sick. You had your elbow room if you wanted to, walk around, it was easy to, you didn't have to deal with stairs and all that bullshit, you didn't have to squeeze by people. It was so much nicer of a viewing experience. I like to stand sometimes too, especially if it's, a tense moment. I like to be standing,
Yeah,
but,
I'm definitely a standard for sure.
yeah. So if they did that, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I don't know what it costs to actually rent that area, and I forget what I ended up paying. It was definitely a lot. It was like 200 or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I mean, it's not much more than what I'm paying for my ticket, I guess.
Right,
Probably double what I pay for my ticket.
right.
But this year's not going to be so bad in the stands because it's going to be a down year. I don't expect the stadium to be full all year round, except for like some of those away, like some of those teams that are coming to play us, right? Like the Chiefs. I expect that. I expect it to be filled with a lot of Chiefs fans. The Detroit Lions, like I don't imagine there's a lot of Detroit Lions fans down here to be able to fill up all those extra seats.
Yeah.
Um, who else we got down here? Chicago Bears. Like that's another one. It's like I don't know if there's that many people from Chicago down here to be able to fill the stands unless they travel. I don't know how well they travel, but they haven't been like one of those great teams throughout the years to where they have like Minnesota that travels well. You know what I'm saying? Like Minnesota, they travel well.
I was
So
thinking about
yeah,
going to the Raiders game, but the tickets in Vegas are fucking expensive, dude. You would think a Raiders Dolphins game would not be expensive, but those Vegas tickets, especially now that they've got Fernando, um those tickets are gonna skyrocket.
you think it's because of Fernando, or do you think it's just because of Vegas?
Both. Both. Vegas is becoming a great sports market, especially adding
Yeah,
in baseball.
they have a baseball team.
The Athletics are moving to, Vegas.
Where were they
I forget
before?
I forget, Oakland. I forget which year
Oakland.
that they're officially playing in Vegas, but I think it might be next year.
Damn, so they stole Oakland's football team and their baseball team?
Yeah,
They're like, we're just gonna take everything from you guys.
it makes more sense. San Francisco's already got that market pretty much locked down. I've never understood the two-team thing. Like, I don't think San Diego should have moved, but apparently they were a completely trashed, sports market. I think it's just the Padres that exist, right? And I don't count soccer.
I don't pay attention to baseball.
A lot of people go
Well,
to baseball games, dude. This thing, even though tickets are like $10, those are money-making machines because usually like 3 home games in a row. So each week that stadium's raking in money.
for baseball? No,
Yeah,
I've gone to one. Like they're not bad going in person. But it's like I'm not sitting there watching the game the whole time. I'm kind of
eating.
walking around and mingling and shit.
Dude, the entire like, all I wanna do at baseball games is just eat and drink. That's all I wanna do. It's too
Yeah, I've heard
boring,
that.
it's too, like, slow-paced of a game for me to, not, like,
Sit there
focus
and
on
watch it.
stuff in my face.
Yeah. Because I have heard that a lot of baseball stadiums got like the best stadium food, right?
Expensive as shit, but yeah, it's kind of a big thing for baseball teams to, like, make crazy, foods and stuff that you can get
Like shit you'll see
as,
at the
like,
fair.
souvenirs incorporated into the food.
That's so good. You get a knife and cut them up.
I went to a baseball game in Japan, it was freaking awesome. The food
Is
was
it
so
done?
good. Yeah, in Japan, you could just leave the stadium and come back in with your food. They had all these food
Yeah.
trucks inside, so you could just pick a food truck and go to it.
Man, I bet you that's the real good original shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they had all kinds of stuff, and, like, every player has, like, their own meal at one of the food trucks, so you can just go and, like, say the player's name, and they give you that, like, sponsored meal. It's great for kids. They give you, like, a
Oh,
little collectible card of the player, and
it's
I guess
cool. What
throughout
the
the
hell you doing
season,
in
you try to
Japan?
collect all the cards. What's that?
What you was doing in Japan?
I was just there. I went to Asia for, like, a month, and I was working remote for half the time, so I figured instead of my room, I'll just do it from Asia. 12 hours a 12-hour difference. Um, I was just, like,
So
working
you
in the middle
drove
of
to
the night.
Japan?
What's that?
No. Oh, I'm about to say you said you was in Asia.
Yeah, I went to Vietnam, Hong Kong, China, Japan, and
Okay.
Taiwan.
Oh.
Japan had the best food.
How's the food differences?
Japan is the best food country in the world. Doesn't even have to be Japanese food. They do Mexican food better than Mexico, they do Italian food better than Italy. They just everything that the Japanese do has so much perfection and care and expertise, put into it. Like, if you usually the chef will have, like, went to that country and learned how to perfect everything they do for years and years and years and then bring it back to Japan. Like, they're
Mhm.
insanely, specific about their requirements and of excellence. So it's good. Everything I had there was good. And I don't even eat sushi and, like, that kinda stuff.
Yeah.
And in China was good too. It was insanely spicy, though. Like, the real Chinese food,
Yeah.
especially the Szechuan area, they don't fuck around with their spice. I was sweating the whole time I was eating kung pao chicken and, like, beef noodles and stuff.
Yeah, that's that
Hot
real
pot.
Chinese.
Yeah. But, like, they eat some stuff that, like, I'm not even about to try. Like, parts of the animal that you would never see on a menu here.
They basically eat anything.
Well, they're
Yeah,
using every bit of it. You know what I mean? Like not wasting anything.
yeah. So like I do like their food though. Like it smells so good. Like every restaurant you walk past, it's just the fragrance is crazy. They use a lot of herbs and spices and stuff, way more than we do. Vietnam, the food was shit, which I was
Oh,
pissed
for
about.
real?
I like pho. I like some
Yeah.
other Vietnamese foods, but the food was terrible. Like the quality.
That's crazy. I thought it would be good.
I thought it would too, but I wasn't that mad because you get like a meal for like $2 there.
Oh,
Like,
okay, okay,
everything's
okay.
insanely cheap. I stayed in a five-star hotel for $50 a night.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. It's crazy. Like a water bottle, a cold water bottle in like a tourist area was 30 cents. Anywhere else that would be like 4 or 5 bucks.
Yeah, for real.
So it's like I can see why a lot of people go to places like Vietnam and the Philippines and Indonesia and stuff once they retire because their dollar goes way further there.
That makes sense though, man. Some countries still
Yeah.
not that high with spend.
And they could still be advanced, right? They just haven't experienced the inflation that a lot of other countries have.
Yeah, true.
Did you see that? Did you see the videos of those robots I sent Joe? Remember we were talking about robot sports?
Was it on Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, I never check Discord unless I'm seeing that you go live and I hop in. I don't even know where to
Oh,
look for
gotcha.
messages. I can't stand the Discord interface, dude. I can't stand it.
Like how it looks and stuff.
Yeah, like how you navigate through it, it's just so mysterious and it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, it's kind of like it kind of works like a hamburger menu. You know, you go back and it has because it
Yeah.
has different sections for you to be able to like group things if you want. It was mainly built for gaming. It was mainly
Yeah.
built for gaming and
Yeah. Now it's doing
alliances
weird
to be
shit on
able
it.
to organize shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know because I used to game and my friends were trying to get me to go on it and I hate it, especially for the phone. The mobile interface for Discord is butt cheeks, dude. Although the quality of the stream, like there's rarely issues.
Yeah, well, that's also too because this like there used to be issues, but now our Discord has Nitro, so it's boosted, so it does have better quality, and it can have even better quality if I keep boosting it.
Hell is
So
Nitro? Is that like a paid thing?
yeah, it's like a monthly thing, but it's like for your profile personally, but you could like boost other channels as well, and it helps like the video quality and the sound quality of their channel, and then it also allows you to have more like soundboard options because like there's a soundboard on Discord here too, and like I can upload now that we're boosted, I can upload like I think 16 or so sounds or 16 or 20 sounds in it that we could like hit. You know what I mean? And it could be anything. You know, like some people use like weird sayings as like memes, like to click to say something, or it could be like quotes or just fucking random ass sounds to just toss in. Like somebody says something you don't agree with, you can toss in some kind of like weird fucking like meme that says something like that was whack or something. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like that type of
Yeah,
shit.
man. Now that you guys got me thinking about the food in Japan now. I'm thinking about the gyukatsu fried steak. Basically like like barely cooked fried steak that they slice up and they give to you, and then you have a hot pan that you pick up like each slice and you put it on the hot pan and cook it to your liking. It's so good. Every single piece you eat is like right off the pan.
You know?
Dip it in all kinds of crazy sauces. That looks good, man.
Yeah, and that
Well done. Hat and the chef hat.
I didn't want to wear the chef hat today. It would have been way too hot, man. I would have been fucking sweating.
I thought it was gonna be super hot to cool down.
I know it did cool down though. That rain cooled us down, but although it killed the fucking stream because it shut the computer off.
We're gonna make some
I
steak
think
tacos later. I don't have a grill, man. It's starting to piss me off. There's like
yeah,
a
I don't know
neighborhood
what
grill by the pool. There's one, but I'm not cooking like for. That's when you're like cooking for a
You
party.
know,
Shit.
it's still on. It's just not showing anything.
you need to get one from Home Depot, man. Have it delivered.
I know, but I don't. I live in an apartment, so like the only place I would have would be my back porch, but it's like enclosed on and from almost every side. So all the smoke,
Oh,
I feel
okay,
like would get
okay.
trapped.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But the neighborhood one, um, down by the pool and shit, like that one I
Mm-hmm.
could use, but I don't know. I'm not trying to bring my food all the way over. And my parents got one. They're like just a few minutes away. I could always hop over to their house and use the grill, but I'm not trying to clean it.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, if you if you use someone else's grill, like you don't want to leave it like dirty as fuck.
Nah, you gotta clean it. You gotta clean it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Even
you're
your
gonna clean
grill,
it
you
anyway,
gotta
but
clean.
you wanna, like, deep clean it, right, when you use someone else's, like, things. So,
That's true though, man.
that's, not worth it to me to go over this. I cook most of my stuff in the pan and the oven,
Okay, okay. You
air
make it real
fryer
quick.
occasionally. Got it
Air
down to
fryers
a
are
pan.
nice though.
I could cook
Air
a
fryers are
great
nice though. You
steak
can
in
do
a
a lot.
pan. It's like a stainless steel pan, butter, salt, pepper, really all I need to cook a steak properly.
So Joe, did you give us your list of cuts and keepers based off yesterday's game?
Um,
Like three guys that you would cut immediately, three that you would keep based on yesterday.
I'll be honest, I stopped watching in the second half. I just couldn't take it anymore.
I don't blame
So
you.
yeah,
Just waiting
so
for the regular season.
for me, like I I would say like I'm not ready to cut Tutu yet. Like I think Tutu's got he might surprise us this year. I've seen
Yeah.
his highlights and everything. Like I know he could ball. So he does look fucking small though out there. Like and I'm not even talking like his height. It looks like a strong wind can blow that dude over. So I am a little bit concerned about that. But Taj Washington, I think he's got no shot at making this team. Um, I don't even want to see him occupying time of someone else tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. Yeah,
Next week.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that one for sure.
Like he's just not making the team. Maybe practice squad, maybe, but I don't know. Oh, by the way, I looked at the transactions from yesterday, and guy they cut, James Esther, they reverted him to IR after he cleared waivers. Um, and Nick McLeod got released. I know nothing about Nick McLeod. I didn't even know he was part of the team.
And didn't we pick someone up too?
The day before we did. I forget who that was. The same day that we cut Esther. Oh, Cox. The or Dix. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Stephen Dix. DIX. Same thing if you think about it.
Yeah, no. But I thought we picked somebody up yesterday at halftime, or
Oh,
was
at
that a guy we?
halftime? That's
Yeah,
crazy. Our team
yeah. It
is
was
so
like
bad. We're making moves at halftime.
yes, at halftime. I remember because like I did the same thing. I was at the game and like by the start of the second quarter, I was kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna go mingle. So I like walked out into the balcony and shit and was just like smoking a cigarette and then like talking to a dude that was out there, and then like I got the notification on Twitter that like we had picked up somebody. It was like halftime. I'm like, holy shit. I don't remember the name
Dude,
though.
that's so funny to think about that, like, Sullivan or Halfley was just so fed up that they were like, "Fuck this," and then they just went and Made a call. I don't know
So
who it was though. Let me see if I could find yesterday's. Wait, was this today or yesterday? This is
you should
22nd.
be
Oh
able to go
no,
to.
I don't see anything. It didn't I don't see any notes about it.
Are you looking on the Twitter?
No.
Go to the Miami Dolphins Twitter. I'm looking it up right now too.
I don't have Twitter, so
I
I'd
got
have
you.
to.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up right now. Give me a second.
I've seen too much bullshit on Twitter, man. I don't want to get into that world.
I only use it. I only use it for highlights and finding out about teams that I don't necessarily follow as closely as the Dolphins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I get it. It's a fucking cesspool otherwise.
It is. It really is. Like it really is. Especially a lot of the voice chats that they have.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
don't
the
know.
Wild Wild West, man.
I believe in freedom of speech and press, but tell you what, Twitter makes me kind of second guess that sometimes.
Oh yeah, here we go. Right here. 21 hours ago, which would have been what? What time is it now? 3:39 p.m. So 21 hours ago, we claimed cornerback Giante McMillan off waivers from Indianapolis.
No idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't either.
Deontay McMillan?
Jante, like Jai apostrophe Ante apostrophe McMillan.
Okay, I pulled it up. Yeah, corner. Giante.
And that was like just after halftime. Because like the Miami Dolphins tweeted out at the half 20-3. And then their very next tweet was the roster move of them picking up the corner. And then the very next one was after the third quarter. So they did it somewhere between halftime and the start of the third quarter.
So he played at TCU and then Minnesota in
With the Vikings,
2023. What's that? No,
with the
college.
Vikings or college.
College.
So I'm guessing he's a young guy.
No. Um, he committed to TCU in 2020. Um, transferred in 2023. So he came out of college, I think, on the older side. We see if I can find his age. He's probably like 25, 26.
So still young, young enough to develop, possibly. We'll see.
He
It's just-
is. Oh, he played at Minnesota in 2025, so he's a rookie.
So, so with that being said, he's a corner they're bringing in. So who do you think currently
He's a
they're
corner slash safety.
so who if you're in your opinion, who would you say they brought him in to replace? Because obviously they brought him in because somebody was concerning, right?
I think I saw Taft miss a tackle yesterday, by the way, but I don't think it would be him. Um, let's see. Maybe Lewis Moore.
Marshall said Lewis Moore.
Maybe Lewis Moore. Maybe Baker. Darren Baker's injured, right? Maybe it's Storm Duck or AJ. Like we have a few injured corners, so I guess
Okay.
otherwise it would be like Marco Wilson, Miles Battle, AJ Green, Ethan Bonner, all those guys. I'm not comfortable with getting on the field. I
So
think
he's just
Marshall and Brent are pretty much locks to be starters, or at least heavy rotational pieces. If Chris
who?
Johnson plays that role.
Marshall and who?
Brents, Juju Brents. I think those are our three corners. With if Chris Johnson is a nickel, I think it's going to be Marshall, Brents, and Johnson. And then because I still believe we're going to use a lot of nickel. That's why I feel like Chris Johnson's still going to be out there quite a bit. And then the safety, probably Trader and Anderson, probably starting. Yeah, I mean anyone in the depth of our DB rooms is a massive question mark. Maybe it's Alex Austin.
Maybe it could be Alex Austin. He hasn't really came out and made any big plays or any kind of splash movements or anything. And he was one of the guys that when we had when we had went through and did our film breakdown of all these guys that we brought in, he was one of the guys that I labeled as a developmental stud. But I mean, just because you put nice tape on film doesn't mean it necessarily is going to translate into you being able to actually learn and take criticism and apply it to get better.
They have him on the depth chart I'm looking at on our lads. It has McMillan behind Alex Austin, who's behind Chris Johnson at Nickelback. Who is
So currently it's Chris Johnson, Alex Austin, and then the new guy that we just brought in.
that's what it has on here. I don't know how they would know to slot him there, other than the fact that he's hybrid corner safety. Maybe they're just kind of assuming he might fit well there. Um, but there's also Amari Harvey. I don't know who that is. They have him listed as like the last corner.
Omari Harvey.
Ahmari, Amari Harvey. It says, I believe the color that code that they have here is for UDFA. Yep, the UDFA that Pittsburgh, I guess, had initially signed. It's a corner from Georgia Tech, 5'11", 195. Yeah, okay, so Pittsburgh. Oh, so we made a claim. Okay, wait. Okay, so Denver signed him after the draft. Denver waived him in June. The partially guaranteed contract. Pittsburgh signed him in June. Pittsburgh waived him in August, and then we claimed him from the waivers in August. There's this claim from Pitt.
Well, I'm looking at it. It just says claimed off waivers.
It says he's best in cover 2 zone.
5'11",
I'm wondering if he played more
185.
safety. Oh, I see here. It says he's got he's been utilized in a variety of man and zone and has flexibility to play field or boundary. Below
And
average length.
he switched from safety to cornerback in 2023 and earned an All Bowl spot that season. Um,
Yeah, he probably won't make the team.
no, this is just trying to cover that depth problem that we have right now.
Man, this guy has been on 3 different teams before the NFL season even begins.
Started.
Yeah.
That's not a good look, right?
Yeah, like why did Denver waive him with a partially guaranteed contract? What is that?
Well, I
Where
mean,
you I guess
my
UDFAs have guarantees?
unless they guaranteed him a contract bringing him in, I don't know, man.
Interesting. He was projected as a 7th round and went undrafted.
Well, that ain't no different than dropping Gronowski and then picking him up a week later because realize that Cam Miller and Quinn Ewers like sucked. You know what I mean? Like that was a dumb move on our part, in my opinion. Like we should have went out and got somebody else. Like why we dropped Gronowski for a reason and came back and turned around and picked him back up because the other two guys worried you. Like that was that was a red flag personally for me. Um, and I haven't been able to get it cleared either because Jeff Halfley hasn't spoken about it on why they did that. So this is like
Malik's
I
gonna play
didn't.
this week, right? He's gonna play in
I'm
the Atlanta game. No, not Malik, Ewers.
I don't know. Well, he didn't play this week.
If he doesn't play, that's his last game as a Dolphin, I think, that he's played.
So you're saying that he has to play. There ain't no way around it. You don't
Yeah.
play, you don't
Yeah,
play. Period.
I think so. What's the point of keeping him around next year?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like he didn't show us anything in that Commander game, so it's like
Exactly.
you need to come out here and show us something. I mean, at
Yeah.
least Cam Miller went out there and did a little bit of something. Gronowski did a little bit of something. You know what I mean? Like I think, and personally, going back to the Commander game, I really do think that the offense looked better under Cam Miller than it did Quinn Ewers. I mean, neither one of them got the job done. Neither one of them looked great. But if you like put them next to each other, I feel like it looked a little bit better with Cam Miller than it did Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. I think if Ewers doesn't go out there and show just a little bit of life, and even just together a 40-yard field goal drive, right? Just something. And if he could do that, he'll keep his spot this year and maybe have the opportunity throughout the season to step in for Malik and show his worth to keep him around. Otherwise, he might not find another spot again on a football team. No one's gonna be impressed by his final few games that he played with, the Mike McDaniel Miami Dolphins, and everyone saw how shit he was in this first preseason game. Like, I think it's do or die basically for his career, to play in this Atlanta game.
And if you think about it too, like those games that he played in last year, like that was all garbage time,
It's all garbage.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it was all garbage time. There was no like
No one's gonna have
win
enough
or
intrigue in that. Like, if you're looking for, like, a suitor for your backup QB position, you're gonna gloss right over Quinn Ewers, a 7th round pick who he didn't look that great with the Dolphins in garbage time even. And now it was to the point where when the Dolphins were basically in a season that is essentially a throwaway at this point, he couldn't even be the starting QB. They didn't feel comfortable with him where they had to go and get somebody else. And then he shows in preseason he's not doing shit. Yeah, I think he's gonna be history if he doesn't play. He'll be forgotten by a month from now if he doesn't play this game.
so now with that question, all right. So with that mindset, do we send him out there? Do we send him out there with the ones, or does he continue
I think you
working?
play him the whole game if possible. I don't need to see anything else from Cam Miller. I know he's not a guy. And Gronowski, I don't think we need to see him either, to be honest. I really don't.
So you're on board. You're on board with playing Quinn Ewers all game next
I
week.
would give him the entire game. Yeah.
Okay. And with that being said,
I don't think it'll
with that being
happen, but
said,
that's
he
what I would
should have he should have the opportunity to basically work through the whole offense that we have available,
exactly.
right? You go out there,
Exactly.
you start the ones for the first drive. You have your starting offensive line go out there for the first drive.
your starting wide receivers go out there for the first drive. I
Yeah,
wouldn't play A-Chain unless Ollie Gordon is still like not cleared to play if it's like more serious than what they said it is. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Then I might consider playing A-Chain for that first drive. Because then, if not, you're pretty much running Jalen Wright out there all game long as well, and I don't think he can handle that. He's shown. I don't. I personally don't think he can handle that.
yeah.
But
Unless
then, yeah.
Ewers throws
But,
2 interceptions, I want at least 6 drives for him. Cam Miller has had 11 drives in this preseason, and only 3 of them have gone for more than 10 yards, and I think he has a total of 3 points, um, from his drives. 11 drives, totally 3 points is crazy. 11 drives and only 3 of them exceeding 10 yards is even more wild.
yeah, no, for sure.
So, that's why I wanna see as much as possible from Ewers, unless he's throwing, like, 2 interceptions in those 6 drives or something, then, bring in Gronowski, but Miller is another one, I guess, that you could say I'd like to see go ahead and get cut.
Cam Miller.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely rough at that quarterback position for sure.
I'm surprised he got as much volume as he did. I guess it's just because Ewers was apparently hurt yesterday, which I
Well,
guess
I mean, to be fair, I mean, in my opinion, I felt like Cam Miller was showing progress through the
in
preseason,
practice.
like
Yeah.
out of all the quarterbacks. So maybe that was why he was given more reps and more opportunities because he did show that like, hey, I'm progressing with the coaching and the teaching that I'm getting. So give me more. And then he
Yeah.
just failed to run with it.
Yeah, I do like to judge it on these preseason games though, because it's way more realistic of a scenario. I know too many
Yeah.
people, especially growing up playing sports, soccer and football and stuff, that were superstars in practice, and when it was game time, it was like they'd never played in their life. And that might be, I mean, that's especially true with the QB. And you've got the whole mental side of it. In practice is one thing where you got small little breaks between each thing, and you're
Well,
prepping
not
for
only
the
that,
exact scenario.
you can't get hit in practice as
Exactly.
well,
Exactly.
so
It's the people that are on your team that you're playing against. It's no one's in the stands watching. You don't have cameras. You don't have a spotlight. Like it's. I love the preseason games. Like I think I'd rather watch just a few more preseason games than have to listen to the people comment on the practices and shit.
So you're one of those that's on the boat to where you don't want to lose preseason and get more regular season.
Yeah, I don't. I think they could do things to the preseason to make it better. I think they can work things around if they're making the season longer. Um, you know, then maybe you make the preseason just like a 2 week period instead of the 4 to 5 week period that it is. Like change what you're doing with the Hall of Fame game. Make the Hall of Fame game a regular season game. Where you actually have people carrying and watching. Make that like the opener of the NFL.
Right.
Then nobody
Well,
watches the Hall of Fame game. Absolutely nobody. And then they don't even do the ceremony. They do it the next day, I believe.
yeah, the next day. But at the same time, though, like if you want to get the season to where it's 20-game season, because that's what it's going to have to be if we're going to add expansion teams to the NFL. Like it's going to have to move to a 20-game season. You're going to have 2 bye weeks, and preseason is basically like preseason will have to not be a thing because then if you still going to have a 20-game season and have preseason plus playoffs as well, that's pushing you to where these guys are playing football for 30 weeks, 30 to
Yeah.
31 weeks out of the year.
That's fine. Raise the minimum pay, right? Or give everyone an X amount of bonus. But like if someone
Well,
told you like, hey, you gotta work um, an extra week this year, right? When you're used to having 2.5 months off or whatever, and they're like, hey, you gotta come in for an extra week or two, but we'll give you an extra $100,000. You're gonna be like, yeah, I'm doing it in a fucking heartbeat. They could do it. I mean, they could incentivize the players. Ultimately, that the player organization is gonna bitch and moan, but I think it's good for the sport overall.
Well, you're also going to have to raise the roster
For
size
sure,
too. Like,
for
you're
sure.
not going to be
And
able
we're
to
gonna
get.
have to deal with load management, and that's a very real concept that NFL fans are gonna have to grasp with, and backup QBs are gonna be that much more important.
Backup everything is going to be that much more important because you got to think like you got to at least jump up to 70 plus on the roster size if you plan on running a 20-week season.
Yeah.
Um, and what that's going to look like is you're going to have third stringers. You're going to have people on your team that are typically practice squad guys. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
You'll have, like you'll get, like, I think long-term practice squad
Mm.
guys or bigger practice
Yeah.
squads, and maybe that's the answer, just a bigger practice squad that you're allowed to have.
And like just let them be a part of the roster. Just kind of like
Yeah.
switch them in and out as you need to.
Yeah, exactly, just yeah.
Just make the practice squad part of the roster. It's just kind of like your
Yeah, make it like
reserves. You know what I
25
mean?
players or something where you don't have as many risks of people getting stolen off the roster or off the practice squad. Just
Yeah,
change that up a
yeah.
bit, then you don't have to fuck with the salary cap or, this and that.
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe you do have to mess with the salary cap still. I'm not sure how that would all work.
Well, that'll all get worked out because the salary cap raises every year, anyways. So, like, um, by the time we got a 20 game season implemented, like the salary cap's going to be freaking ridiculous, anyways. What are we sitting at right now? Like close to $300 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like to talk about it too much because I get salty because I work my ass off a lot and
I done the
yeah.
research on it because like I did a video about it last year, bro, and the salary cap goes up on average $20 million a year. Basically $21.6 million a year goes up on average. And if you go back 15 years ago, it was going up $10.3 million a year on average. So now if we use that math and if it maths correctly, in 10 years, like it's going to be going up $50 million on average a year.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Unless there's a major disruption to the economy or anything like that. But even then,
Yeah, I mean,
entertainment will still thrive.
who could really predict fucking 10 years from now other than we're going to see robots fighting each other? Because that was the videos I was telling you about. I sent you a video where they had the robots fighting each other. Because remember, we were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
like
yeah.
which sports would be AI'd first were robots.
I saw a video
Um,
today of a robot race where they were like humanoid robots racing on a track.
yeah, I sent another video in the Discord of a robot that they built that can jump higher and run faster than any human. And the craziest part about it, bro, they've only been on that project for 3 months.
It's like we're trying to wipe ourselves out.
Really? Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're gonna build a robot that is like can literally beat any human? Like, is that really what we're trying to do here? iRobot, Terminator, coming, man. That's why I made a little joke. I'm like, y'all better start telling y'all's Chat GPT, please and thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. I mean, I work directly with like some of these robots and AI and stuff in the logistics industry, and they have these robots for warehouses that can walk around and pick up and move boxes around. They don't need they've got like legs and feet and everything. They're gonna,
Yeah.
it's like some jobs are gonna be completely eliminated and replaced, but other jobs are gonna be created to build these robots, to maintain these robots, etc.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna be a huge
but
shift.
the amount of jobs that like it doesn't equal out if you think about it, right? Because like if you think
Like you're buying 10 robots to replace 10 employees, but it only takes one employee to maintenance all 10 of those robots. You know what I mean?
Um,
Sometimes. Yeah,
mm,
sometimes. I think certain it depends on the industry. Like, as soon as they figure out how to fully automate restaurants, that's when it's gonna be the biggest impact. Like, so once servers in restaurants start getting, replaced, which tablets are already doing a lot of what they would normally do, right? But actually bringing food and drinks to the table, and, answering questions or, needs from people. As soon as that's replaced fully by most restaurants, that's when we're gonna have the real issue. 'Cause that's everyone's fallback plan. It's like, well, if my job gets replaced, at least I can go work at a restaurant or something or serve tables.
That's why I'm in the industry that I'm in right now, is because like I've realized that robots are going to take over a lot of these industries. But like I work with saltwater, so
Yeah.
it's like yeah, at some point like my job's definitely like going to be at risk. But I think I'm like on the ass end of that. You know what I mean? Because they still got to figure out how to like make sure all
Tell
them
you what,
components
dude, I
and
would
stuff.
love some little mini robots in my tank that can go around and clean.
Well, they actually have them. Like it's out there. Like you can buy. Like they have a magnet that you can buy that's kind of like a robot. You know how you would magnet your glass?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It kind of works like a Roomba, but for your fish tank.
Right, right. That's what I need something like that, but it'd be cool if it was like a robotic snail or something that could go over the live rock.
It'd be cool if you had like a little remote control where you could control it too if you wanted to.
Right.
Start
And it
messing
doesn't
with
it
stuff in
doesn't
the
stress
tank.
out the fish because it looks like it's a sea creature.
It, yeah, it looks like it belongs there.
Yeah. 'Cause that my puffer I cleaned, the tank yesterday, and my puffer is still mad at me.
He's mad at you.
Yeah, it's like now like, clasps its tail when I go to feed them,
Hmm.
and it's, like, hiding. It's normally very social and, like, eats right out of my hand. Now it's scared of me.
You feed it
It
clams.
normally lasts like that for, like, few days, or if I go on a vacation and I come back, the puffer's kinda, like, mad at me, like, moody for a day.
Like, why'd you leave me here all
Yeah,
alone with
dude,
these
I swear
fuckheads?
puffers are the best and worst thing for a tank. They're very,
No,
like, social, very playful, but they're very messy eaters, and they'll fuck up, like, shrimp and things like that you want to clean your tank.
yeah, you can't really have inverts, too many inverts in your tank, and yeah, they leave behind a mess for sure. They make for a dirty tank,
Yeah.
especially if you're feeding them clams and stuff.
Mine doesn't like clams, so her beak is starting to get, like, almost fused together because it's not trimming down on the clams.
Right. Have you tried anything else like scallops or any other type of like
I
shell?
haven't tried anything else with a shell. Um,
Yeah.
I will put in, like, shrimp and stuff, but that's not hard enough to, trim down. She does like to peck at the snails, though.
Maybe if you tried like so what does it eat?
She likes the pellets the most, which is crazy.
The
But
pellets.
mice
Oh, that stuff is
yeah,
garbage. Stop feeding
yeah,
that stuff.
mysis, dude, I feed them, mysis, like, frozen, marine cuisine cubes, which is like a blend of different things.
You know
Um,
what you can try
I give,
doing? Here's what you
krill.
can try doing. Since it'll eat the frozen cubes. All right, so take one of the cubes and like soak a clam shell, like get like just the shell part of it. You don't even need the inside of it, but like soak it in with the frozen food, and maybe even if you just like freeze it overnight or let it turn into a slushy to where like maybe the food will stick to the shell and then toss it in there, and maybe it'll munch on it and be able to sharpen his beak on the shell, but it might not last long. I don't know. I'm just like giving an idea that you could try. It might work, it might not work.
Yeah, I would have to try during the night, but, I think some of the other fish would probably get to it before she does. She's a super picky eater, but she's got, like, a big enough gap in her beak to get just about anything in. Um, but, yeah, I was gonna the fish store that I was gonna bring her to if, it got fused together and she couldn't eat, they They told me they could put her in some clove oil or whatever in the water to knock her out, and then trim the beak. They've done it before. Um, but they closed down, dude. I went there a few last weekend. I drove down there to get some ghost shrimp and stuff, and they had closed it. Like, and they were in business for like 40 years, and they closed their store.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that they telling me that.
Yeah, it was sad, man. But I'm happy right now. This rainbow basslet that I ordered, which was very expensive, is doing well in the tank. It's not getting bullied. It's been eaten all day. Looks like it's gonna adapt well. I was really worried.
I
I
bet
got a lot of fish in the tank. So I was worried about socially how it would take to the tank.
I bet it looks beautiful too.
Yeah. It's red with black and gold stripes and a little bit of pink around the red. And it's a cave fish, I think from the Costa Rica area. So I had to restructure the whole tank as I was cleaning it to make more caves so that it wouldn't get bullied out of the caves that are already claimed by the other fish, you know?
Yeah, I got a purple and black basslet in my tank.
Nice.
That thing's a butthead. It like picks up my sand and moves my sand around. It's got like a little cave because it's a cave fish too. So in its little cave, I have like a design to where my rocks kind of make like a they go around and like there's two lips where it's kind of like cupped, but it's like a big wide opening. And in
Yeah.
one of those cupped areas, he basically like took a bunch of my sand and like filled that area with sand. So it's
Yeah,
like
because it can scoop up the that's the one that's like one of those uh um gammas or whatever. Yeah, it's the one you're talking about, the one with like the black head.
yeah,
Yeah, I've seen those before. This basset is more like uh elongated, more like a rocket shape. I think the chalk basslets are like that too. You ever seen those?
here and there, yeah. I don't see a lot of them. A lot of the stuff that we get at our shop is more like reef safe. Like they're definitely reef safe, so that because we sell a lot of coral, we agriculture a lot of our own coral and stuff.
Yeah.
And those bassalids can tend to be a butt head when it comes to having corals and stuff because they pick up the sand and they can crop dust your tank, which will
Yeah.
kill coral.
That's what my dragon wrasse does. All day. That's all it does. All day is just dig up sand the rock. That I've got like the black like little rock things instead of actual sand. All it does is dig and kick shit up all day until it goes to sleep under that sand.
Yeah,
It knocks over
yeah.
my
See, all of that's bad for coral.
yeah, I don't keep any coral. There's no shot. I got too many chaotic fish.
Well, you can't do it with the pumper anyways because you can't have any kind of cleaner crew in your tank.
I know. It would be a lot of manual work.
Yeah, a lot of manual work. Every day you'd get home from work and have to put your hands in that tank.
If I do a coral tank, it's gonna be a smaller one. I've got an all-in-one tank that's like a 20 gallon. I would love to have just a few small pieces of coral. I don't have it active. I don't have it cycling or anything yet. But I don't want
They
to
have
do it,
these.
man. I travel too much to have like
Yeah,
multiple tanks.
that's what I was going to suggest to you. This new tank that they got, it's a nano tank,
Yeah.
and you can wear it around your neck like a necklace. It's got everything you need. It's just like wearing a necklace. Fish tank is a necklace. It's like not even a gallon. I think they sell them up to a gallon, but that's about as max as you can go.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw one of those at the not the necklace, but one of those all-in-one nano tanks at Reefapalooza in Orlando.
Oh, you went to Palooza?
Yeah, a few years ago. It was like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. We were at Palooza for this past one. We'll start being there every year now.
Um, I went to one. I saw one of my fish vendors that banned me from his website at the Reefapalooza. This company that
Why did
did auctions on Friday nights, and I won. It was a rainbow basslet actually, and I won the fish on an auction, and they wouldn't hold it for me for an extra day before shipping it because I was in Vegas. I cursed them out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I had also won another fish from an auction from them that was diseased when it arrived, and they told me it was a raised scale when it was like a full blown like parasite sticking out the side of the fish.
Yeah, I tell my customers all the time, you got to be careful what you order online.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it was a what you see is what you get thing too, so that's what made me even more mad.
yeah,
Um, but
and that's
so
how
when
they
I
run it.
the people I order from now, I'll usually ask them if they can text me a video of the fish, at least swimming, if not eating.
Yeah, you got to because it's already difficult for one transferring a fish, especially if you're putting it in a box and shipping it somewhere.
Yeah,
It's already
with no
difficult enough.
control over the temperature.
Right. It's already difficult enough doing that with a fully healthy fish. There's not even guarantees that it arrives live. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Now it's like now you're sending me a fish that isn't healthy, and if I was in the store, I probably would be able to see that it's not healthy, and I wouldn't buy it. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, dude, this one arrived. I couldn't believe it. It arrived with no heating or cooling packs. Like they just fucking raw dogged it in there.
Wow.
And like it was sitting in front of my door, like with the sun like beaming down on it. I was like, thankfully I was home. If it had arrived when I wasn't home, I could have cooked the fish.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I
But
would have had
that's
a
not
basslet.
necessarily. Well, that part would be on the delivery driver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would get a claim on like all every company I've used has been good with dead on arrival, but that one company in Florida, man, I got into it with them.
You know their name?
Uh, I think they changed their name. I couldn't even tell you. Um, it was Reef something. I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Where's everybody at today, man? I guess that game yesterday killed everybody's spirits. Kenna was supposed to be joining today. This is technically like his show, his platform. You know what I mean?
Well, I dude, I think it's gonna be if we go out there and we lose to Vegas, there's a lot of fans right now that are kind of like me, like out right on the fence. I'll obviously show up week in, week out regardless, but there's a lot of people that are like, we might be ass this year, right? And if we go out and we lose to the Raiders week one, I think a lot of those people are gonna just kind of tune out for the rest of the season. And even
I
though it
hope
is the
not.
Raiders, that game is going to be difficult. That is still the first game of this new head coach,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And it's Kubiak's first game as I think as well, was he a head coach before Seattle? I can't remember if Kubiak had been a head coach or not. I know his dad was a coach, I believe.
Wasn't he with Andy Reid?
Yeah, but I'm saying has Kubiak been a head coach himself before? Like, is this
I can't say yes off the top of my head, but I feel like he was with Andy Reid, and if that was the case, he probably has not been.
right? Right. Well, and then I'm going to look at that. But yeah, it's Malik's first game with in the Slovic offense. It's Halfley's first game as a head coach. A lot of rookies, a lot of players that are going to be getting game time that aren't used to having this much time on the field. It's going to be a lot of new stuff. So,
And not only
even though
that, I think these guys are still going to be like trying to figure it out and get everything down. I don't think they're going to have it fully figured
we don't
out
even have
by the
our
start
we
of
don't
the
have an
season.
identity yet. It might take a few weeks to build our identity. Dude, they could roll out there, and we could have one of the most dynamic vertical offenses that there is, right? And we could be blown away. Or they could go out there and they could do the Mike McDaniel screen pass thing that we watched for a few years. We do not know what it'll be, which I think is the exciting part. The complete roll of the dice this year. I think
Well, hopefully
we
these
are
guys,
another one of those teams with a wide delta of possible wins. We could be 0-17, or we could have like 10 wins.
yeah, no, and that is the reality too, and that's why it, it's tough. It's really tough, especially if you're trying to sit here and report on a team like this, right? Because it's like you can look at both sides of the fence and see that the grass is growing green on both sides. There's reasons, there's arguments. Like I can definitely see both sides of the story and both sides of the argument. But at the end of the day, neither of them are valid until
Yeah.
the season starts
Yeah, I mean,
and game
there's
time
certain
actually.
teams where you would say, "No, they're not gonna go 5 wins," right? Like the Bills, like, even though we hate the Bills, we don't think they're gonna be a 5-win team unless something real fucking bad happens, but we're not predicting that.
Right. Josh
Yeah.
Allen would have to go down early in the season for that to happen.
Right,
Have to be
so
a season-ending injury.
yeah, so their window of what we're thinking they might do this season is much smaller, but, like, the team we played yesterday, the Giants, they're another one of those teams where they could have 2 wins and people would be like, "Yeah, makes sense." They barely have a team, or they could go, 10 wins. They could be like, yeah, makes sense. Dart's getting comfortable. They got a good coach. They got Scattaboo back or whatever. They're one of those teams that could
Isaiah
go either way.
Likely.
Yeah, the Redskins are another one. We could see Jaden Daniels back in Jaden Daniels form, and they could be an 11-win team, and everyone would be like, yeah, it makes sense. He's back. Or they could be complete ass, and people would still, so it's funny to see which teams, you don't really have a wide window, and some of them, like us, you do.
Yeah, super
So it's
wide window too.
yeah, it really is a roll of the dice. And I've stayed largely negative this offseason, I think. Not just
Yeah,
negative
figure
on
it out
what's that?
for the most part. But I mean, like you give reasoning to it. It's not like it's just blind negativity. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's like one of the things that like get to me too, right? It's like, and it doesn't just go for the negativity; it's for the positivity too. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be blindly positive about the
There's
team.
there's
Like
no
if
agenda to my negativity. Like,
if you're gonna give a positive take or a negative take, and you have some kind of substance to back your reasoning, then like okay, then that makes sense. You know what I mean? Unless it's just blind facts that you're making up in your head, then like might have to call you out on it. But
there's still nuggets of good in this new regime that we can already observe. I've been I've been sure to call those out when I can. Um,
yeah, I
but
think one of the biggest things so far is that like so far from what we've seen. like it seems like Sully and Halfley are sticking to their word, right? Like if they tell us something, like we see it happen. It may not happen right away, but like if you pay attention, like they've done everything they've said so far. And one of the things that they said when they came in is their plan is to make this a winning organization again. So until they prove to me that I can't trust what they say, I'm gonna stick to that. I'm gonna get behind them. Like, okay, you told me that you're gonna make this a winning organization. You've stuck to everything else that you've said so far. So until you prove that I can't trust what you got to say, like I'll get behind it.
Yeah, I had a hard time getting behind Gase. I had a hard time getting behind Flores when they were up at the podium getting asked questions and things. And Mike McDaniel, forget about it. I couldn't even fucking listen. But with Halfley, I feel like, it has to be the same way for the players, that you can actually understand what he's saying and why he's saying it and the direction that he wants to do things. Whereas the other guys, it was usually just kind of coach speech, right? Like they're just kind of just saying what people think that needs to be heard,
No,
but it not
yeah,
really much thought behind it.
athlete's great, right? Because if you really like slow down and you pay attention to how he speaks and everything, he's kind of painting a picture for you.
Well,
Or
that's it. I
like,
don't even think you
right?
need to slow down to hear it. Like I think he's
Oh
and
no,
I
I'm
think
just
that's
I'm just saying
probably
like you know what I mean. Life is fast nowadays, right? So it's
yeah.
like you may be listening to the presser, but you also got other things going on, so you're not 100% devoted
Yeah,
to
you're saying
everything
if
he's
you actually
saying.
focus on it.
Right, like yeah, if you actually focus on what he's saying, like he literally like paints a picture for you, and like you can like literally
Right,
like
and that
imagine his
has to
mind.
be
Like this is
resonating
what
with the
he,
players. With all these young
yeah.
players, that has to be a great thing in the locker room. I couldn't imagine what it was like with meetings with McDaniel talking to all the players at once. I bet they weren't even paying attention. They were probably
Well,
on their
I mean,
phones and shit.
and it's come to find out like we figured this out since Mike McDaniel has left that that's true. Those that's
Right,
not an allegation that you're making. Those
right.
it's come out that that is most likely what was going on in a lot of these meetings because we've come to find out because players have came out and said like there was no leadership when it came to Mike McDaniel. They're like people came in, they did what they wanted, they came and gone as they wanted, like late. It didn't matter if you were late, like didn't matter if you stayed for practice, whatever. Like there were so many things that players had came out afterwards and said why Mike McDaniels couldn't get control of that locker room.
Yeah, yeah. I just I you could hear it just in the way that these guys talk and how direct they are versus how much they're just kind of talking around, not saying like a whole bunch of word salad. That's what I always felt like that's what we got from Gase, even Flores, and then McDaniel was insane. It was like he had just ripped the bong right before his interview and was trying to make something up on the fly.
Right.
That's at and so it like there's no way that resonates with the players, but someone who can get you understanding what he's talking about halfway through the sentence, that's where it's actually going to stick to these players who probably have attention span issues and can't be on Adderall and stuff because it's performance enhancing, right? Like these guys can't take certain medicines that a lot of other people do to focus and listen.
That makes sense too. Yeah. Adderall being a performance enhancing drug
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
is.
a lot of the stuff that you might take to, like, focus in a classroom setting like that, or where you're reviewing film and trying to pay attention to each little thing and why, like, you don't a lot of people had that advantage in school, and some of these athletes I've seen it in person when I was in college, some of those athletes were, like, had the worst attention span.
I could see it though. Got a lot of things going on, man.
Yeah, at East Carolina was one of those colleges where, like, the athletes didn't have, like, someone basically taking their classes for them. They still had to go, and they weren't doing well. They were those student athletes were struggling, but, they didn't have I swear these SEC schools and stuff, they're not student athletes, they're just athletes.
What do you mean by that though?
They're not going to class and taking the tests and all that shit. First of all, they get, like, tutors that basically do all of their assignments for them outside of class. And they have if they're I believe if they're football players at, like, these massive programs, they're not failing those no professor at fucking Alabama is gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna fail you so that you're not able to play this weekend because your grades are so bad." They probably, they've every single one of those guys has coasted through, and we see it sometimes in the NFL when some of those college players are, like, fresh out of college get interviewed, and they sound like they barely made it through middle school.
That's bad though, man. That's bad for society. Like
It's
just
yeah,
pushing people through like that. I saw a video the other day of a, a high school senior teacher who's like breaking down, crying because like he had senior students that didn't know how to read and write. And it's like, how did they even get there in the first place? You know what I mean? Like, why are we just pushing kids through if they cannot, like, if they're not ready?
yeah. Yeah, it's state by state. I've noticed a difference in all the different states I've lived in. Like New Jersey was one of the top ones, and that's where I was raised. And you could see a difference when I went down to North Carolina. Like all the kids from out of state were like a step ahead of the North Carolinians.
Yeah, I remember when I left Florida as a kid and I went to Missouri with my grandma there and did a couple months in Missouri. It was like night and day.
Yeah,
Like same with Georgia. Like when I went up to Georgia, like I had a cell phone and no one else there even knew what a cell phone was yet.
right.
I'm like, damn, bro. Like I went from being poor broke to top of the world
Yeah.
just by moving counties.
Yeah,
It was
my roommate in college, he not to throw him under the bus, but he had like college courses or college credits already completed from high school. And I think it was like math. Yet when he took like his like initial test at college to see like which course they would put him in for his like base math thing, he got put in remedial math even though he already had like college credit like for his math classes in high school.
But that's because he didn't test well enough, right?
Right, like once he got to school and he was taking this like college level test compared against all the other people from all these different states, he did very poorly. Yet he did well enough in his own like school systems, curriculum and everything that he was, I guess, granted college credit by the state. So there's just like a huge imbalance of what can make it through high school and college, especially with the athletes.
Yeah, I should have pressed harder as a child.
I was a
I
terrible
think
student, but I've always been a good test taker, so it balanced out.
no, that's how I was too. I was an amazing test taker, but I did not care for like everything in between. Like I'm not doing homework at home.
Yeah, you couldn't
Like
get me to do homework, bro.
no,
Yeah,
there was no doing homework at home. Like classwork, I'm sitting here like I'm either being a class clown and getting myself in trouble or I'm flirting with all the girls in class. Like, but
yeah,
then you come to test time, like I just fly through that test, score perfect score on the test, and just move on with my day. You know what I mean? Like, I was listening to you. It didn't seem like I was listening to you, but it was going in here, I guess.
yeah. Well, for me, like my at home, I always had like additional education. Like my parents, well, mostly my mom, went out of her way to like teach me all the subjects, like how to do them or understand them better, except for like history. And that's why I struggled in history. So like when I was at school, I wasn't actually paying attention because I already understood like the concept of what we were doing in English or math or whatever it was. So I ended up being a terrible student.
Yeah, I think that helped me get through middle school for sure. Cause like I didn't have that in the house. Like my parents weren't like they weren't there to help me with any of that. But like I did have access to like college textbooks as a
Yeah,
young child, and I didn't have a whole lot. Like I didn't have video games or anything like that. So like I actually dug into those college textbooks so at a really young age. So it helped me. I guess it helped me excel through like the early years of schooling because I
bro,
was
you
so
couldn't get me off a GameCube during like after school. Man, you couldn't. I got home, you couldn't get me off that fucking GameCube unless I was going outside to play with friends.
No, I was an outside kid. I didn't have any of those options, so I was definitely an outside kid. But I was out there getting in trouble too, so it wasn't that great. Like
Yeah. No,
I'm not proud of it. No,
my brother and
I did
we were
some stupid
sports.
shit.
We were a sports and video games household. Neighbors would come over, we'd all play basketball or football in the yard if it got dark out or if it rained or whatever, we're inside playing Mario Party or, NFL Street or, what was the other one? NFL Blitz, you
Well, Blitz
know,
was a good one.
yeah. Yeah, it was always like the game was never like some, like, weird fantasy game or anything, it was always, like, sports games or, like, some other type of competitive game on, GameCube and then eventually Xbox. It was a very
Yeah, see,
competitive household.
I think that was the difference for me there, right? Like, because when I did get into games, it for me it was like more of those fantasy games,
Right,
so that like escape reality and like go be something else and do something
yeah,
else and just it was an escape from reality at that point when I finally did get a PlayStation. Because at one point I finally did get a PlayStation and like Final Fantasy was the game that I got. It was Final Fantasy 7, I think. Was the
oh,
very
man.
first game that I
See,
had even gotten.
for me, it
Uh,
was I actually liked Madden, and NCAA football more than actually watching college or NFL football. Like, I enjoyed the video game, uh, like, I enjoyed football more through a video game for the first few like, for my early years.
Yeah, 100%. I was the same way. I did like Madden, but like it started getting rough, bro. Madden, like if you
It
haven't
got
been
bad in a
playing
certain
Madden
year.
consistently for the last 10
Yeah.
years, you were probably gonna get cooked by
Yeah. No, I got you, like, there was a certain spot it was when all the online stuff started happening for Madden,
Mhm.
and they started doing the Ultimate Team and stuff. Not only did the, competition get, like, harder, like, you were you weren't just playing against the computer on a certain setting, you were playing against people that had figured out loopholes and stuff in the game, but also just the quality of the game, it just like, it got too they got too focused on just, like, turning out product instead of turning out a good product. And Madden and NCAA football, when they stopped making them, that kinda, like, fucked it up for me.
Yeah, because now it's like you gotta press so many buttons to complete a pass because it's like you gotta like, bro, it's gotten so complicated compared
Yeah.
to 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think they had the luxury of the graphics not needing to be as good to where they could make a smoother gameplay. But yeah, I don't know, it just the sports games kinda fell off for me. EA Sports, I was, like, a huge thing for me in my childhood, and then it just I guess I got more into shooters as I got older, like Halo and, Warzone, I played during COVID. Played a lot of, Warzone with, like, friends online.
I like me some Warzone, man. Warzone is good. It's a good stress relief. It really
Yeah,
is. Like if
yeah.
you can get in there and you can get focused and just play a couple rounds with nobody bothering you, just put your headsets on and you just like shooting people and fucking
Yeah, but
like
it
getting
it
into
it it
those.
had the same thing that you were just talking about Madden, like, people got too good at it, man. People got way
Yeah,
too
like
good at it, and it
and
it
I
kinda
thought I was
ruined it.
good at it too at a certain point, and I'm like realizing my internet's not good enough because like
Right,
in live time I'm like, bro, I know I shot you first, and then you go back and you
right,
watch the replay, and it's like he had shot you 3 seconds before you even turned the corner and shit, and it's
right.
like,
Now
bro, my
you got too
internet,
many people, like, custom building their computers and their mouse and keyboard and everything for the game. Yeah, what was it? Slide. There were people slide can't like figured out how to maneuver the player to like move unrealistically, and that's when I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna hang up the controller. I'm gonna hang up the sticks. Yeah, I got my
yeah,
ass kicked too many times after like it's probably like 2022. Once like everything had opened back up and it wasn't like stay in your house during COVID time anymore. I was
yeah.
like,
But
I'm gonna go travel.
but I mean, in the long term, it was good though, right? Because now we have sports and gaming, so now those all those like competition gamers, like they have a reason to be that competitive in
Yeah.
a game. You know what I mean? Because before it was like, oh yeah, I want to be competitive, but it's like at the end of the day, like I lost. All right, whatever. Like,
Tell you what though,
oh,
I thought a few years ago, I thought esports would be bigger than it is now. I thought it was gonna like take like the whole sports world by storm and TV and stuff, but it's growing, but I thought it was gonna scale like much faster.
well, I
It
think
is
it's
very
so
popular in China.
I think it's so niche, right? Because like if you're a person that's not into games, like, and you
Right.
didn't grow up playing games, and like now all of a sudden they're like, oh, you want to watch the Madden tournament? Like it's the biggest tournament, or whatever. I'm
Right.
just
You could be a
saying
football
that as
fan
an
and still
example.
not care about the Madden tournament.
Exactly, because it's like, oh, that's not real skill. Like, you're not showing
Yeah,
real
yeah, yeah.
like skill or anything like that. Like, what am I watching? You know what I'm saying? I'm watching you
Right.
play a
Well,
video
most
game.
people grew up without the video games. So, but if you look at like Asia and you go through like a mall there, you'll see like not they're not like normal arcades. They're like arcades with like whatever that popular game of the time is, and they've just got people competitively playing and people like over their shoulders like watching them, like how people used to do arcades in the 80s if they were like setting a high score, just gathered around. It's like that, but like they're playing like an whatever shooter or something online that's like real popular. It's so you got like way more people are used to competitive gaming in other countries than they are here in the US. And in the US, it's still kind of looked at as like, oh, look at this nerd, yeah, with
Yeah.
his controller.
Yeah, that's still where it's at right now. Like people
Yeah,
aren't like comfortable with calling it a profession
right.
or a
Not even a
competitive
hobby. People
sport.
don't even like to call it a hobby.
Yeah.
It's called childish too by many.
But which is like it's knowing what we know now, like it's kind of dumb to have that kind of thinking in my opinion, because like if you think about it and if you use games properly through the years, like you games can teach you a lot of life lessons if used properly. I'm not talking about the guys that like get up in the morning and spend all day long on a video game, but I mean like if you use it properly. Like, I taught myself how to drive on video games. You know what I
For
mean? I
sure.
never drove a car until I drove a car, but I had played plenty of driving games to realize when
Right.
I need to start slowing down, hitting my turns, things
Yeah.
like this. You know what I mean? So I
It
mean, there's
sounds
a lot.
ridiculous, but Grand Theft Auto helped me with driving. 'Cause they
Exactly.
actually
You know
had
what I'm saying?
great physics for their cars and the way that they would accelerate, decelerate, brake, slip, everything. You know, it actually
Exactly.
did help me. And I agree with you. I've always said history could be told so much better through immersive video games than through textbooks. And games like Assassin's Creed came out that showed like a lot of like historically accurate stuff.
hundred
Red
percent,
Red
bro.
Dead
100%.
Redemption.
God of War teaches you about the freaking what's crap. No, I can't even think about it. But their background and their lore with all their gods and stuff.
What
The
is it?
Roman
Norse?
Norse, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 has a lot of historically accurate stuff from the late 1800s in America. Like, there's a lot you can learn from, and video games are, like, way more immersive than a textbook. Like, I hated reading stuff in textbooks and trying to memorize dates and shit like that, but videos, like, on YouTube that can capture my, imagination or places you can visit that, like, reenact something. That's
Well,
way
like
more, like,
for
interesting.
example, right now I'm want to get to Baldur's Gate 3 because like they have a feature in there to where you can make worlds kind of like in Minecraft and shit. And I want to run my D&D campaign through Baldur's Gate. You know what I mean? Rather than sitting there and like me reading it to you and you like replying, it'll be way more immersive and fun. I feel like, and
Right,
rather than me just us talking with each other. I'll be right back.
right. Pretty soon, you're gonna have, just in a few months, there's gonna be people who have entire careers launched, streaming video games with Grand Theft Auto coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars made, maybe even $1,000,000 made on GTA 6 content that's been it's a market that's been building up for 10 years, and it's about to explode. There's gonna be so many people there. Who knows? There might even be a part of the game that allows you to, like, earn money based on, like, live content to the outside world, like, directly through the game. They
Well,
might
I mean that's that's already gone on in games for as long as I can remember. Like there's ways that you can make money. I remember back in like the WoW days, people would sell stuff. Like they would work in the game to make
Right, right, right,
items
right.
and then sell those items. You know what I'm saying?
RuneScape. People did that in RuneScape.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
South Park made a whole thing about that, where they had, like, um, sword or whatever that, like, kill anybody. That was, like, right at that time when people were playing Warcraft and logging, like, thousands of hours just grinding to, like, make shit that some rich kid would buy to skip having to do all the grinding themselves.
Which is crazy. I thought that was crazy, like concept, but I wish I would have got into it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was one of those guys that's like, I'll just grind it, you know, I'll get it eventually. I don't got to pay for it right now. I was always a grinder, man. Like when I started playing phone games and shit, like seeing people like they got new stuff come out, they drop new stuff every week, every month, and it's like, bro, I can just grind for 2 weeks and I'll get it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't I'm trying to think of, like, what game did I grind on the most for something? I think.
Mine was Marvel Strike Force, man. I did some grinding on some Marvel Strike Force, that's for sure.
It might be Red Dead 2. I think Red Dead 2, you know what it is? It's Time Splitters. Time Splitters 2. Um, I was like, I think I finished everything that you could possibly do at the highest level in that game on GameCube. I was nasty at it. For good times. It was like
Oh yeah,
2000.
you're going way back. I remember I grinded the hell out of that Final Fantasy 7 game. I know that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, more recent time, it would be, Red Dead 2. I think I got almost all of the animals hunted, and that was, like, an extensive amount of animals. I don't know if you ever played that game, but
No,
it's my favorite game
but
ever made.
I played one comparable with the Assassin's Creed Pirate Flag. Like I went pretty hardcore on that one, trying to get as much as possible.
Yeah. Those are well-built games, well-designed games, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rockstar, though, they fucking crush. Between, GTA, 4, GTA 5, Red Dead 2. And now when GTA 6 comes out, which is gonna be crazy because it's in our stomping grounds.
I
South
know.
Florida, dude.
That's why I want to get it. Like, and I can get it now because my kids are older. Like before, I didn't get them because my
Right,
kids
right,
were so
right.
young. Didn't want to expose them to that type of content. But
Right.
now my kids are older, so I can actually get it. And to think that I could possibly go and find my house, like hell yeah.
Yeah, that's to me is something I always wanted. I always wished I could have a video game that took place in my neighborhood or my town or my house. And this is gonna be, I mean, even for me living on the other side of the state, I feel like there's still gonna be the Sunshine Skyway Bridge.
Well, they
Um,
released the map. Did you see the map?
yeah, based on all the leaks and things like that, they've had the map, like the people that did it last time have been rebuilt, like recreating what the map will be based on coordinates, and they got it pretty accurate. And I think just a few days ago, like more stuff came out that helped them clarify it. But yeah, it's gonna have
Right.
what it looks like is Miami, Tampa, Orlando, area, like Disney, some
West
airports, the
Palm.
Keys.
It
Yeah,
has West Palm also.
yeah. That whole thing all the way up to, like, Fort Lauderdale. Um, where is West Palm? Is that above Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah. West Palm's where all the rich people live, man. That's where Trump lived. You know, we've got Mar-a-Lago here in
Oh,
Palm
you know
Beach.
for sure they're putting Mar-a-Lago in the game.
Oh yeah, of course,
That's
man.
gonna the amount of content that's gonna happen there with streamers, like, blowing up the, golf course and stuff. Yeah, that's gonna be funny, actually. And then to have, like, a Disney replica, in the game, you know they're not gonna avoid that. They're gonna have, like, some kind of fucked up, like, cartoonish, amusement park.
Di- Disneyland, yeah. Do you think they would do Disneyland or Universal Studios? What do you think would be? I don't think Disneyland would let them get the rights to put their stuff in
No, they wouldn't it
GTA.
wouldn't be like well, I don't know, they might do, like, a creepy looking mouse or something to be, like, a spoof. But yeah,
Right.
Disney does go hard in the paint, like, they could take anything like that they've probably already talked it out with them if they are. But who knows? Disney is not the Disney of, you know, yesterday. Disney now gets down and dirty with some stuff. They might be alright with that if they gain from it.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. I don't know. Yeah, they could do like a Universal Studios type where they have like a bunch of like fake GTA world movies that they have rides for, like fake superheroes and stuff.
No, it's definitely going to be interesting, but it's going to break the fucking internet
It
for a
is.
couple
Yeah.
months. Like the internet's going to be broken. Don't expect to get shit done when that game comes out. Not only because it's going to break the internet, but you're going to have so many people calling out of work.
Yeah.
People are going to quit their jobs because they're going to start new jobs, like you said, because they're going
I'm
to fucking
I'm trying to
blow up
think of
in the
like
streaming world.
things to invest my money in that might like be on the rise because of just this game release. I think that's how big it is for new gamers, for old gamers. Like
Yeah,
anyway, this game's gonna be played by anyone 10 to fucking 60 years old.
I
They've
don't know
waited
how
so
much.
long, man.
I don't know how much kick is worth in the like stock market and shit, but I know it's still like an up and coming growing streaming platform, so that might be pretty affordable to be able to look into.
I can't
'Cause
believe
that's going to
Kick
be
made it the comeback it did because Kick in its early days was just like a messaging platform that absolutely nobody used. And then it turned into it they picked up the whole like concept of live streaming earlier than some of the other apps did, and it solidified their position. They made all the right moves to grow. I'm pretty impressed with it. They were just like a dumb app for the longest time. Discord too. This Discord did a rise like that as well.
yeah. I remember I was using Line before I was using Discord,
Yeah.
um, because Line was more of like a general based messaging app, to whereas Discord is aimed for gamers. You know what I mean? You can definitely tell that Discord was built by gamers for gamers. Whereas Line, it was just like a general messaging app. And yeah, I feel like Line died out because I don't hear nothing about that.
I'm shocked that Reddit never got into the game. I mean, maybe they do now. I don't use it heavily enough to know, but they have so many people that everyone uses Reddit. And if you look something up, you end up on Reddit half the time.
Yeah. Well, I think that might be the problem with Reddit too. It's so controlled by the population
Make
that
for a
they
really
kind of.
unique streaming platform, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of niche audiences that are just hang out in Reddit as it is. I think they would do well as a as a streaming platform in an already saturated market.
Yeah, I need to start hooking ours up with more streaming platforms and shit, so we can stream to multiple at the same time. Start spreading our market out as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just give them a 5 hour. How long you been on till 12?
It was 1 o'clock. We jumped on around 1 o'clock, 1:30 or so.
5 hour show.
Oh yeah.
You should better have commercial.
Well, I think there was like 30 to 45 minutes worth of time where it was just frozen because my power, I guess, had went out and it cut the computer off. So then I had to restart the computer, restart the stream, and then like I had to go in and do it again because the computer wasn't ready yet when I restarted it, so it crashed. Oh, but yeah, I don't even know that the power went out, and it's like we don't even really got that bad of storms out here. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to?
Oh,
Yeah,
great content.
I moved your phone right there.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, with Streamlabs, like what I use for my streaming platform, like I can stream through multiple apps at once, but I have to like pay the subscription for Streamlabs to get that ability to do it. So that'd be like another $20 a month for me, like to do that, to be able to stream to multiple platforms. I could use like there's a website that I could use called restream.io, and it'll like restream to multiple platforms, but it only works through OBS.
Yeah.
It doesn't work through Streamlabs.
Yeah.
And I don't really like using OBS. It was too many issues that I've found with OBS. Like Streamlabs seems way smoother. It's definitely also like easier user interface compared to OBS. Like OBS is like it's for the professionals. You know what I mean? So the user interface, like I couldn't go in there when I first learned how to like when I was first learning how to stream and shit and set everything up. Like I couldn't figure out OBS. I had to learn through Streamlabs, but now I can do OBS by like because I learned it through Streamlabs.
So, man. Great content though. Hopefully we do it. What's next Sunday?
Next Sunday?
Is there games on Saturday?
No, we can do it next Sunday too. I just have to figure out what I want to cook up on the grill. Might cook up a pork butt, make some pulled pork. For sure. I'll send you a link so that we can collaborate it so it goes on your channel as well.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
And then at some point, go and share your link on one of the videos that we were in so that they can push on
Try to share it on Twitter. You post something, like I'll go try to share it on my Twitter and stuff. My Twitter don't be booming like that, but I don't follow a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't either. It just takes consistency. You just gotta keep doing it, man. Just comment on shit. Eventually they'll roll in. But no, I'm saying like put your YouTube link in the videos, like in the comment section.
Oh, okay,
so they can click on it. I'm actually gonna have to go make you a moderator so you can do that. So
no, I gotta do
wait till tomorrow.
It's actually good. You should start going. You probably get over. I tell you, I'm watching these other guys do it. This same way as doing it. This concept to our video.
Yeah.
Matters about the video too.
I know. I've been going for a long time today. Pete be going for hours sometimes. You should check Pete out, bro. He be going like 12 hours sometimes, bro.
That's what it
like, and like he'll have his panel up there. He'll have like all kinds of people up on his panel. Yeah.
Right.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
They're gonna the Browns are gonna name their starting QB tomorrow.
You think so?
Yeah. The coach
Is that
said
what
he's
he's
going to. No.
Oh, who do you think it's going to be?
Shadura.
Fedor?
Yeah. I'm reading this article. It says Watson was booed by the home crowd in the game they played in, and he responded by saying he felt it was personal and disrespectful. igniting widespread doubts around the football world about whether it's viable for Cleveland to go forward with him as a starter.
Yeah, I heard that too.
He
But
went
I
5 for
mean,
12 with an interception and got booed. Um, and it's his first game in Cleveland since he tore his Achilles, when also booed him and cheered when he got injured.
well, I mean,
That's
like,
not good. That's not a good spot to be in as as a QB.
well, I mean, but it was almost us. If you think about it, that was
Yeah,
almost us.
we would have cheered if
Like,
Tua got hurt again.
but I'm saying, like, we almost went out and got Deshaun Watson instead of the
Oh.
Cleveland
Oh, I
Browns. I'm
see what you're
saying that
saying.
that was almost us in that same situation. You know what I mean? Like, we could be dealing with the Deshaun Watson thing right now
Well, we
instead of
did.
Tua.
We basically did with Tua. We dealt with the Tua situation.
Right, but looking back at it, would you have rather dealt with the Tua situation or the Watson situation?
Either way, we'd be in the same boat, I think.
You're not wrong there. You're 100% not wrong there.
Yeah.
I think actually we might have been in a better boat, right? Because the Deshaun Watson wasn't playing. He wasn't available to play, so you had to go out and find other quarterbacks. To
Right.
whereas Tua, it was always a matter of he's playing until he's not playing, and he's our starting quarterback. We don't have to worry about getting another quarterback to come in here and lead this team.
Yeah.
So could it have put us in a better situation going into the season? Like maybe we would have had another quarterback in the room that we could just elevate
Well,
and know that he's better
would that have
because
been
we're actually
Dylan
going out and
Gabriel or Shedeur?
trying to find a quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like we weren't trying to find a quarterback, a starting quarterback. We were going out trying to find backup quarterbacks for Tua.
See, what draft was that? Was that 2024? No, that was 2025, right? Yeah, 2025
For
NFL.
Quinn Ewers. Yeah.
No, when the Browns got their QBs because they needed one.
Oh, Shador, Dylan
Yeah.
Gabriel, and then fucking who was the other guy?
Well, they brought in Kenny Pickett.
Right, right, right. So they had Watson, they had Pickett, then they drafted Shador and Dylan Gabriel. And Kenny Pickett, I don't even think made it through the training camp. He was traded to the Raiders,
Let's see,
if I remember correctly.
when did they actually pick him though? Gabriel, was that the 3rd round?
I couldn't tell you. I think where was I at during that draft? I think it was at my buddy's
Yeah, it
house and
was
we
the
were
3rd
having a
round. It was
party.
pick 94. So, yeah, so who knows? We might have gone Jalen Mil like one of those 2 guys, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur as the other guy, or Jalen Milroe.
Right,
Um,
because at this point you're looking for a starter and not a
you're
backup.
look
Like
yeah, you're
when
looking
we
for
picked
a
up Quinn Ewers, we picked him up in the end of the fucking draft. You know what I
might have
mean?
been Tyler Shaw.
Yeah, you know what I
Could
mean.
have been
Although I'm not
Jackson Dart
saying.
if we're willing to go that high on the backup slash starter.
So now
Wouldn't
looking back
I don't
at
think
it,
it
thinking about it, damn, maybe Watson would have been the better play at the
well,
time. It wouldn't have looked good during it, but it didn't look good anyways, right? We wouldn't have went through the Tyreek Hill like drama. We wouldn't have
well
went through
there was still plenty
like
of drama around Deshaun Watson. Like, I'm sure there's a ton of Browns fans that wanted nothing to do with him just based on the accusations.
and I didn't want anything to do with him because I knew he wasn't going to be available. I knew that he wasn't going to play. Like that was my biggest argument when like people were like, "Oh, we need to go get Deshaun Watson." I'm like, "Why? For what
Right.
reason? You want to pay him? You want to pay him all this money for him to not play football? And what has happened? He hasn't played football. So it's like I was right there, but at the end of the day, like looking back at it, like we probably would have a guy like you're right, like maybe a guy that we could use as a starter or a developmental quarterback. Maybe even
We
Jackson
probably
Dart.
would've
Like I
gone
would
Tyler
take
Shaw
Jackson
instead
Dart.
of Jonas Savaiinaea. We would have had Tyler Shaw as our backup QB, and then we wouldn't have gone and grabbed well, we probably still would have grabbed Malik with this regime, but it would have been Malik and Shook battling it
Yes,
out for the QB
we
position.
we would have a real quarterback competition right now for sure. Because right
Yeah.
now we don't have there's no competition. If you've been paying attention to what's
Right.
been going
The
on with
draft
these
pick of
quarterbacks,
Quinn Ewers was basically them just saying, I guess we'll go ahead and get a backup QB." It was never it we wouldn't have gone anything to try and compete with Tua.
right? Exactly.
Not even let the fans want the replacement of this other QB.
Yeah, but if we had Deshaun Watson who's riding the bench, like you're forced to go get a guy that can be a
Right,
QB
the hand would
one.
have been forced. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Damn, man.
Hindsight is 2020.
Bro, I know, right? When you start realizing, like, bro, this is the type of move that actually could have like helped it out better, but at the time, it seemed like the worst move in the league. You know,
I
crazy.
just I still can't believe that they gave him that contract, that they gave Tua that contract. What were they thinking, man? If our GM had a fucking pair and just said, "You know what? I fucked up taking Tua, and we're not gonna double down on this mistake. We're gonna" he probably could have saved his job. Chris Greer probably could have saved his job had he just said, "We got it wrong on the QB. We're gonna roll the dice again. We got like Jackson Dart or someone or Cam
Do you
Ward."
think he was? Do you think he was too scared to let him play on that option, and then like
Yeah,
him going out there
because
and
realistically, well, there was 2 things. 1, he wanted to make his pick right, and 2, there was fear, and I remember people talking about it, that if we didn't give him this contract, that he would either A, hold out, or B, command an insane contract the following year.
right?
But the whole logic behind the insane contract the following year, if he deserved it, give it to him. If he doesn't deserve it, don't
Yeah,
give it to him. Like,
yeah.
we needed to find a guy that's worth that anyway, so, like, just wait it out 1 more year, we would have seen.
And that should have been how it went too, and that's right. Like he needed to just Greer needed to just grow balls and have that conversation with the dude and be like, look, man, you're like, yeah, you had a pretty good year last year. You were leading the league for there for a period of time, but then you also got injured. You missed a couple games. Like
This is
go
why
out
the
there and
fifth-year option exists.
go out there and do it again. Show us. Like, I want to pay you. I want to pay you, son. I do. You were my draft pick. You're my boy. But I mean, I got to see it again. Consistency. And the same thing with Malik Willis. I want
Right,
to see him going out there this coming preseason
right.
game and at least
Malik,
getting.
unfortunately, doesn't have a 3 to 4-year period to go out there and get to that point. He only has 1 year to get to that point, but I hope they treat it with the same energy, right? Like, I hope they're not like, "Well, okay, well, we'll not bring in anyone serious to compete with you next year because you did okay." I want it to be flat out a tryout.
All right. Well, if we look at this QB room though this year, like did they not bring anybody to compete with him, or did Quinn Ewers just fall off that fast? You know what I mean? Because like they obviously had to have evaluated Quinn Ewers and Cam Miller before deciding to roll into this offseason and training camp with them as the backups, right? Like, why didn't you explore going
I
out
don't
and
know. I mean,
getting the other
to
picks
me,
in?
Quinn seems to have become worse than he played last year. Maybe they
I think
thought
so
that
too.
what they
I think so
saw
too.
with Quinn playing last year, that was okay enough to be a backup, but, I mean, I don't know. That the whole thing puzzles me because maybe they thought Ewers and Slowick had already had a year under the books together and that, it'd be decent to have a backup that at least is familiar with the OC.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, because you know what? I've been banging the table for Slowick. You know that I've been Slowick's biggest
Yeah.
supporter. Even going back to last year, I was arguing that Slowick needed to be our offensive coordinator. So I think highly of him in that position. But this could be a mark for me for him
Against him, that if he
against
felt
him.
comfortable enough with Quinn to keep him in the QB room
Right. So
as a
it's like
fallback
because you can
option.
go back you can go back and listen to a couple of his interviews that he had when he talked about Quinn Ewers to me, it really seemed like Bobby Slowick was in Quinn Ewers' corner, and he was really fighting for Quinn Ewers to not only just get a spot on this roster, but possibly even fight for the chance to be the starter. And it
Yeah,
just didn't work out. So yeah, that could be a check in the box for Bobby Slowick for me as far as like you
against
trust
it.
in this guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
but I could also see from the perspective of, like, wanting a QB that's comfortable with the OC and the offensive game plan just based on, like, experience as your backup. If shit hits the fan, you don't wanna have something brand new out there, you want at least some familiarity or chemistry or something, but, yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of why, like, Halfley didn't wanna go out and get, a QB that they envision using very similarly to Malik. And, to be
Yeah.
honest, I'll feel gypped if I don't wanna see it be only legs, and ground game from Malik, but I'll feel gypped if we don't get some of that from him, you know? I do wanna see some him run for some first downs and stuff and make defenses fear his legs. 'Cause that'll open up everything else for us, but if we have a backup come in and that can't do that, the whole offensive game plan has to change to that what that backup does.
Yeah, and that's kind of what hurt us in years past with Tua. It's like
Yeah.
whenever we had a backup come in, like none of the backups were ever really the same as Tua, for one, because he's
For better or
left-handed.
worse, yeah.
So it's like everything's already reversed,
Right.
and then like it's just a different like
Well,
play
that's
style
why
in
a lot of people
general.
felt it didn't work out with, Snoop Huntley and, I forget who else was getting games in those years where Tua was missing games,
Teddy
uh,
Bridgewater,
Bridgewater,
um,
yeah, because they
like,
all of a sudden had to fit into this goofy offense that was set up for Tua's timing balls.
and if you go back and you listen to all of their pressers when they first got to the team, they all said the same thing. They're like, we had to unlearn everything we knew and relearn a brand new offense. And it's like, how do you, if you're changing guys every other week, how do you expect them to be good at something that's like, it was, we're setting ourselves up for failure.
Dude, how
So I
good is it
hope,
gonna feel if we start off hot and we look at Tua playing like absolute dog shit in Atlanta, if he even is playing, and we see Mike McDaniel's offense struggling in almost called him San Diego, in LA.
well, I mean, and both of those things are very likely, right? Both of those things are very likely. The them struggling over with the Chargers because we've already seen them lose some pieces on their offensive line. Their center went
Yeah.
down.
That's big. That's
I
big
don't.
for McDaniel.
Yeah,
Having to go with a rookie center. That's gonna be huge
exactly,
for McDaniel's offense to work around.
exactly. So we likely could see the Chargers offense struggle early on, in
Right.
the season, and then the Falcons, like
They're a
Tua,
mess.
most likely is going to get the start, but Strand, that quarterback they have over there, Strand made a case.
The
Um,
fans want Strand.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Strand made a case during their last preseason game to become the starter over there. So we might see Tua playing against the Dolphins this week. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because
right.
if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm like, okay, Tua hasn't looked great. I mean, you saw his performance in the first preseason game. Like he fumbled the freaking first passing snap of the freaking season or the game for them. Didn't look good. So,
Dude,
but
if I'm
even
a Falcons fan, I'm pissed that they didn't just hold on to, um, Cousins, right, and just play out Cousins a little bit and then draft. Okay, even if it was this year, they could have had they could have been the ones with Ty Simpson. The Atlanta Falcons, with all those weapons that they have, could be, and half their fans are Alabama fans, by the way, the Falcons. They could all have the non-broken Alabama QB in Ty Simpson.
well, he went to the Rams.
Right, but had they not done this whole Penix experiment and then go and grab Tua, they could have been drafting a real QB. Like Penix is not going to pan out.
No.
It's not like I didn't think he was going to in the draft. His build just alone just looks weird. He does not look like a QB. He looks like a wide receiver or something.
Well, I mean, that's probably why they went and got Tua to begin with, right? Because they're both similar quarterbacks. For one, they're both left-handed, so it's like you don't really have to. If you're switching between the two of them, you don't really have to scheme or
Right.
change anything on your offense.
Yeah, but
Um,
like, how bad is that though? That like Atlanta's just planning to have like issues at QB, right? That's what we used to have to do.
we tried to tell the Atlanta fans. We tried to
Yeah,
tell them. They
that's
wanted
why.
to argue
Remember
with
when
us.
we went out and
They
got
thought
the
Tua
top
was
flight
coming over there
backup?
to be their savior.
Yeah. Remember when we had to go get Zach Wilson because we weren't sure that Tua was even going to play most of the games?
There
And
you
then
go.
that's who Atlanta brings in to solve their same exact issue is crazy.
And no, I remember one of the funniest things that I said to an Atlanta fan. He was like arguing with me about Tua being great over there. I'm like, okay, I'm done arguing. You just wait till the pass rush comes and Tua just sits down. You'll understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, those poor guys. I mean, that Tua really is like a good um thing to point to with so many topics with risk of players that get injured in college and drafting them at the QB position. Uh, fifth year contract. Fifth year of your contract, do you play them or do you extend them early? Also, the um, what was I? I forgot what I was going to say. Is the third thing. Whatever we were just talking about.
The left-handed quarterback.
No,
I think he's going to kill the left-handed quarterback position.
that's another thing. Short QBs. Yeah, I mean, left-handed is another thing too. There's an argument to be made that receivers have a harder time adjusting to a lefty QB. You got
Well, not
also
just
your
the
offensive line, your right
yeah.
tackle becomes your most important position.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. It's not just the receivers, it's the line too, because it's like you grow up learning to do all your motions in a certain direction, and now all of a sudden you got to do those motions in the opposite direction. It takes away that muscle memory. You know what I mean? So now it's like your brain has to go through those steps again. Like when you're learning something, like your brain triggers steps, and that's why it's slow at first, but then it just becomes way more fluid because it's muscle memory. Your brain's not triggering like, okay, you got to move your arm here. Now move it there. Now move it there. Now move this arm. You know what I mean? It's just like all in motion.
Right. I remember what I was going to say now. The other thing is like stats. Like people are going to look at Tua as the one you can't just look at stats. You have to look at the actual gameplay because Tua's stats got him that awful contract and got him starting again and again and again when he clearly didn't have it, but he had stats.
So Idle man, I'm with you, bro. Like if the Browns drop Taylon Green or Dylan Gabriel, we need to pick them up, like straight up.
I know, and that's bad that we'd even be willing to sniff Dylan Gabriel, but I'd hear what you're saying.
I
Taylor
would take
Green's
it,
interesting
bro.
because I think Taylor Green has a lot to prove at the actual position of QB, but we're talking about a QB that could take off on his legs. That
I
guy
don't
is
remember if it was
running the ball.
yeah, yeah, I don't remember if it was Taylon Green or Drew Aller I was talking about last offseason that I feel like could be the next Josh Allen type with the right coaching,
Drew
just
Aller for
based
sure.
on just based on their size and attributes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Josh Aller is like strikingly similar to Josh Allen, like in his interviews and stuff. If you watch like some of Josh's early Wyoming interviews, when he was first getting looked at as a prospect, and you look at Drew Aller's interviews, it looks like the same freaking person. It's uncanny.
That's crazy. Looking
Yeah.
back at it, should we have just drafted one of those guys? What round did Drew Aller go in?
Third round, I think. The Steelers, he's in a great scenario. Imagine being a third round pick, but the team you end up on has Aaron Rodgers in his final year. What better scenario to sit as a rookie?
100%, bro. But I mean, that's the Green Bay way, right? Like Mike McCarthy came from Green Bay too. He
Yep.
literally sat through that same type of scenario with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, right? Or
Yep.
did he come in during Aaron Rodgers' tenure?
Well, the thing with Aaron Rodgers and then Jordan Love going to Green Bay as well was that they were earlier picks than Drew Aller. Aller is technically a mid-round pick, being a third-round pick. But yes,
Right. So
the concept remains the same, except we don't know if Drew Aller is the true two or if the other two guys that they have with Mason Rudolph and the guy they got the year before. Is it
right, and that brings up another topic, right?
Hybrid?
Because one of those guys is gonna be probably
But
getting dropped,
I would
right?
swoop in on any of them, even Mason Rudolph.
Will
I
Howard or
would
Mason Rudolph?
Will
Like
Howard, yeah, they would. I would take them in a heartbeat. And I
who
wouldn't even. It could be mid. It could be before week one. I don't even have to see them in a preseason game, and I would say put them in as backup.
who else? Who else could become available out there that we could go scoop up? I saw somebody had mentioned JJ McCarthy.
Well,
I don't
I
think he's
think
going to become
with a lot of
available, but I
it's going to
wouldn't.
be the teams with four QBs because the ones with three, I think you could still keep your third QB as like a on your practice squad, but doesn't count against it or whatever. There's some kind of rule where they're
Yeah,
like
you can have three QBs. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's got to be teams like the Steelers that have four, or the Browns.
Who
I
else
don't know
has
who else is
four?
in that boat though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't. Off the top of my head, nobody's coming to mind.
Well, I mean, Atlanta probably doesn't want to ditch anyone right now, but I believe Cooper Rush was their third QB. Maybe they have a fourth guy that's worth looking at.
Maybe somebody out in
Mariota.
the chat. Maybe somebody out in the chat knows. Is there any other? Is there any other teams out there with four QBs that we know somebody's going to be getting dropped that you would take? Let us know. Um,
Yeah, that's interesting.
because we need to. I don't care, bro. I feel like that's probably that and running back too. Like I feel like we, especially depending on the extent of Ollie Gordon's injury, we don't know what it's going to be yet. He said that he was good to go during the game, but he didn't put him back in there.
Oh, you know who I would want? The Yukon QB, the UDFA. I think he's with the Ravens. Joe Fagnano, all dude. Um, but I think since Skylar Thompson went on the IR, he's probably not the fourth QB anymore.
So John Barlow down in the chat says, "I saw Connor Baslak walking down the highway last night. He'll need a job soon."
Aslak.
From Tampa Bay.
Wow. That's it. His name sounds like Ballsack. That's pretty funny.
Ball sack.
Yeah. No, I don't want just like I don't want it to be just anyone. I want some like at least someone there's intrigue or like, with. Otherwise it's just it's more of a spite move at that point just to replace them. But I want someone there where there's at least like something that you could like want to even look at the screen for.
So let me ask you, Joe, because I know you pay attention to around the NFL too. Like you don't just focus on only Dolphins all the
Right.
time.
Right.
Has any team changed your mind so far this off season? Like from what you were thinking going into it to like whether they were worse and now you think they're better, or you thought that they were going to be better and they're worse?
You want me to say the Steelers? You got a fire behind you.
I know.
Oh,
I got
okay.
wood firing.
Oh,
It's on
okay.
purpose. Yeah.
I thought
That's
you
wood.
had I thought your food was just getting torched. Um, do you want me to say the Steelers? Because that first preseason game did impress me. Um,
Right, but then they lost 17-0 to the Jets yesterday
right,
or this weekend.
right. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? I don't know about teams, but certain individual players have stood out to me. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think because I already made a few bold predictions about teams being better, like Raiders and Browns. and a lot better than people are expecting. Um, I still agree with that. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I think for me right now,
Dolphins, to be
uh,
honest. Like,
Dolphins,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they've been a little
I somehow
lackluster,
feel
right?
better about our starters and worse about our depth.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happened through the first two games of the preseason for the Dolphins. It's like, okay, our starters I feel pretty comfortable with, but it's like behind that, yeah, it's a
I
little
think,
scary. But
and I'm not even sure if I feel good about our starting defense. And I think our starting offense is going to be okay. It's going to be functional at least. What's what gives me the most hope about the offense, even though it was one drive, the blocking. Our blocking has looked pretty clean for the most part. Um, so that gives me just hope in general that things can work.
you want to know my thoughts on the Giants, Danny? I love the Giants. Us Dolphins will forever be grateful for the New York Giants, for one. Eli Manning preventing Tom Brady from completing a perfect season. Chef's kiss to the
Yeah.
Giants for one. But I like where they're at right now. I like that they added John Harbaugh as the head coach over there. He's in a similar situation to what he was in Baltimore when he got Lamar Jackson in as a rookie. So you look at Jackson Dart, they're very, very similar. They like to run, they use their body, like they're not they're good at passing, but that's not their forte. But we saw John Harbaugh turn Lamar Jackson into a very great passing quarterback. He turned him into an MVP caliber quarterback, and he used a guy by the name of Mark Andrews. And that's why he
Hmm.
brought
Yeah.
over Isaiah Likely with him so that he can use Isaiah Likely as a safety blanket for Jackson Dart and hopefully be able to teach Jackson Dart how to play the quarterback position and not put himself in such risky situations.
I think people feel
Now,
pretty good about Dart.
no, I like Dart. I like
Yeah.
Scatabo. I mean, T. Tracy Jr. ran all over our defense last night, which is to be expected. Again, that's a third-year player. He's not a scrub. He's definitely a decent backup running back. You know what I mean?
He's
So,
yeah, and with a guy like Scadaboo, I mean, I thought he was gonna get injured, last year before the season started, but not how he did. I thought it was gonna be a head injury. I
well,
think
I mean,
Scadaboo is permanently an injury risk, so,
we
uh, those
we
extra
got to be
running backs
careful with
we
how
were
we look
for.
at how the Giants played last year because in my opinion, Brian Dayball tried to kill his team to save his job. Like he was like putting them guys in situations they shouldn't have been in order to save his job. So I'm pretty high on the Giants. I think they're going to do better than some people may think. I don't know what their score like
Well,
their
if Malik
Vegas score
Neighbors can
prediction
turn
is.
around his like, everyone's down on Neighbors right now because of that injury. If he can turn it
Yeah, but
around
have you
and be the guy he was supposed to, that's people feel a lot differently about the Giants.
Oh, 100%. But have you seen OBJ too? Like OBJ looks like he's a younger version of himself right now. He's looked pretty clean out there running routes and stuff.
Yeah, that
Like,
dri he looked real zesty after that drop in the end zone, though. Did you see that? He did, like, this fucking scorpion move with his body. It was completely unnecessary.
but my team that I've changed my outlook on is the Baltimore Ravens. Like, you know that I was pretty low on the Baltimore Ravens with Jesse
Okay.
Minter coming over there. I was saying that they'll be lucky to win 7 wins, or they'll be lucky to get 7 wins. But based on what I've seen, especially with Jacoby Lane, I like that addition for them in the wide receiver room, but them losing Rashad Bateman kind of negates that out now. So it's like, all right, like I was getting higher on you guys, but now Rashad Bateman goes down, which kind of puts you back in that situation to where it's like you don't really have a great wide receiver core to go out there and play with, especially now that Isaiah Likely is gone and you just have Mark Andrews. Um, and Isaiah Likely was pretty clutch because Mark Andrews is an older guy, so you can't like push him out there and run him like you were running him in years past. Same thing with Travis Kelsey. It's why you don't see Travis Kelsey as much anymore. You just kind of like he may be out there, but he's not out there to actually do something. He's maybe doing a block or used as a distraction. So the Ravens, I want to say they're going to do a little bit better. They might be in the contention to fight for that division over there. But it's going to be a tough. But if that's the case, that's going to be a tough division over there because you're going to have the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens all fighting for that division. That'll be interesting. That's going to be an interesting division to
I
watch, I
think the
think.
Browns are gonna be up there in the mix too for a while. I really do, and I'm excited. I'm excited for Shador.
So you're pretty much booking it that Shador is going to get the start,
I think
be
so,
named the
man.
starter.
Yeah, I think so. It look, if you're trying to, keep your fan base happy, you start Shador. They want nothing to do the fans don't care about the money spent on Watson. The most of the organization can't care either. How many of them are new? Yeah, they you gotta at some point, you gotta look at, like, what the fans want. That's what we did, right? The fans wanted certain people gone, and now almost every fan is positive. There's way more positive fans than negative fans. But, like, basically over a month, that completely flipped. Went from everyone was hating the Dolphins and hating being a Dolphin fan to a month later with the staff and or 2 months later with the staff and the draft picks we made. Uh, no, I think I was the only one criticizing well, one of the only ones criticizing the draft picks. Everyone was fully drinking the Kool-Aid on board immediately. It was like just by getting rid of what, the players the fans wanted.
Well, yeah, and that was the effect of it, right? It wasn't a Greer pick, so it was
Yeah,
automatically a good pick because it
yeah,
wasn't a Greer pick. It didn't matter what the pick
exactly,
was, you
exactly.
know,
Browns
it
can do the
didn't
same
matter
thing
what
with
the pick was.
QB. They
It
could
wasn't a
throw
Greer pick.
some random cat out there as long as it's not Deshaun Watson. Those Browns fans are gonna be happy. And you've got a young QB, test him out.
So do you
Why
think
not?
that's what Stephen Ross did was listen to the fans
I
finally?
do. I do, yeah. Because that's embarrassing. If you're getting a banner flown over your stadium, that's fucking embarrassing.
It was.
Like, I think that'll happen a
Not
lot more
once,
often now
but
with
twice.
frustrated fan bases, but, you'll see one team struggling for, like, a few weeks, and they'll fly banners now because they saw it work with us, but, like, that hasn't happened to someone in a while, and,
And that was an organized
yeah,
event too. You know what I mean? Like people had to get together and plan that and pay
yeah.
for it and everything.
If
Like that
your
wasn't
fans are cheering for an injury, that's you gotta fix something, like, badly, immediately. You start making business decisions that, cut your losses. Who cares about already giving them that guaranteed contract? Everyone knew when they did that guaranteed contract that they were gonna be paying for it.
so if if Shador does get to start over there in Cleveland, if he does get to start over there in Cleveland,
Yeah.
so they have who else? They have Taylor Green, right?
Yeah,
Deshaun Watson, and then who else? Dylan Gabriel.
only Gabriel. One of them gets cut, I think. Probably
Which
Gabriel.
one?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. What if
Well,
they cut
no, you know
Watson?
what? Ta It's probably Taylor Green. 'Cause Gabriel is at least familiar with the team and has had some action, and I believe has thrown a touchdown or 2. Whereas Taylor Green is more raw. So if they haven't seen or don't feel like they'll see something out of Taylor Green, he's probably most likely like, if I was gonna put money on it, I'd say Taylor Green.
So then do we pick Taylor Green up? Like, would you pick him up? Or what if it's Watson that gets dropped? Would you
Uh,
pick either of those up?
Taylor Green, I was not high on, during the draft. However, given recent events, at least there's intrigue with Taylor Green. I think it would be turnover city if he has to play, but at least this guy can make defenses have to game plan for him because of his legs. So at least
Right.
he'll automatically bring that to the table. Dylan Gabriel, I think teams are pumped if they're playing against Dylan Gabriel. That's where DBs start making bets of who's gonna get the interceptions and shit, you know? Like, I don't know, it's Dylan Gabriel just does not scare me as a if I was a defensive coordinator or defensive player.
So basically, what you're saying now is like Dylan Gabriel, like bringing him over here, we're better off of what we got anyways.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not excited about Dylan Gabriel, but Taylon Green, I don't I think is, like, less of a safe pick, um,
Right?
but could have higher upside. And I'd rather like, at this point, because I think we're gonna draft a QB anyway to be the backup, at this point, I'd rather see the guy with some upside in case he has to slip into a game this season.
All
Um,
right. So we got a question down in the chat.
yeah,
Um, what is a successful season for the Dolphins? Floor, ceiling. For me personally, I don't think it's about wins this year. The floor and the
I agree.
ceiling really is irrelevant.
About
I
the
think this
players.
year it's all about building the culture, finding the identity, finding out who we got and the players that we have on this team right now, all these 1 year deals, the rookies that we have, like finding out who are the dogs that are going to help continue to build this culture and shape this identity for the future,
Yeah,
and who's going to be on this team for the future, and establishing whether we know we have a quarterback or not, right? Like finding out if Malik Willis is the guy or not. That's another key success for the Miami Dolphins this year. It's like knowing what direction we need to take at quarterback when it comes to drafting next year. And then other than that, just like progress. Like we need to see Coach Halfley learning from his mistakes as well because he's a rookie head coach. I want to see him like if you're gonna make a mistake, I'm gonna be checking you out too, bro. I'm gonna be checking how you manage the clock. I'm gonna be checking how you manage fourth down situations in situational football. I'm gonna be paying attention to your challenges. I'm be paying attention to how you um deal with situational football that like whether you're in the lead or you're in behind, like I'm gonna be paying attention to all that and progress in the process. Trusting the process is a successful season means that we were able to evaluate all that and we know the direction that we're going in 2027.
yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said. I think, also like along with the locker room and culture and I want chemistry to build from the guys that are going to be here long term. I also want to see captains get established, like who the real leaders of this team are. Um, and if I don't, I'm with you. Like I don't want to put a number on the wins that is a success or failure to me, because we've seen 7, 8 win seasons that are absolute failures. Um, so I don't want to say there's like a number of wins. However, I will say on the topic of wins, if we can beat a good team and like comfortably beat them, uh, me that would be a successful season. Just any team of the best teams that we're going to play this year, whether it's at Denver, at or home against Buffalo, um, New England, maybe. I think New England's going to prove to be kind of mid. Um, but still, even those games of teams that are winning record or going to the playoffs, if we can turn wins against them and do something that we've struggled to do for the last 5 years, 6 years, that to me is a successful season because we'll know we have some winners in this locker room.
All right, so we got another quarterback. So the Cowboys backup looks good. Joe Milton, also Mac Jones from the Niners, or Jalen Milrow from the Pats.
Yeah, but
I
these
don't
are
know if any
these
of
are
those.
backups though.
Yeah, I don't think any of those guys would be available. We're asking if there's any other teams out there that have four quarterbacks, so they'd have to drop one
Well, it'd be
and they'd
nice
be
if it's in our
available.
division, right? Because then we could get some inside info on the teams we play. Like the Jets have Bailey Zappi and Brady Cook as their three, as Brady Cook is their third, and Zappi is their fourth. I might take one of them.
Yeah, good game this past weekend, Brooklyn. Y'all looked pretty good. Your backups definitely looks solid. Jameis Winston, Darius Slayton, T. Tracy. You guys definitely got depth on the offense, if anything, right? And the defense was pretty solid too. So good job, good job beating a Dolphin team that didn't plan for you, which was I think is dumb, but it's whatever. That's how Jeff Hapley wants to run his practices. We got to trust the process, right? And that's how he wants to run his preseason. That's we just gotta trust the process. Like I don't want to plan to out scheme the opponent. I'm just going out there to put film on tape so I can teach these guys in the film room. I don't know. We'll see, man. Could either this could either be a really genius coaching move or it could really turn around and bite him in the ass later. You know what I mean? Like not planning to go out there and win these games. Like, how do you feel about that? Like, how does that make you feel knowing that Jeff Hafley didn't try to out scheme the opponent for a win? He just wanted to go out there to gather film.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know that for sure. Like even if that did happen, I don't know if that would ever
Well,
come out at
he said it. He said it in the pressers. He said it. He said it before the Commanders game, and he said it before the Giants game.
Oh, I
He
thought you
said it
meant
in the
like an
presser.
actual season game.
Right, but he was like, "Oh, I'm not worried about preseason. Like, I'm not trying to go out there and out scheme the
Yeah.
opponent. Like, I care about the film. I care about the process. I care about the technique. You know what I mean? The fundamentals."
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like that makes sense to me. I don't think anyone really cares about the score at the end of the day. Um, what about on the Bengals? Obviously Joe Burrow's their backup, but their other two QBs are Josh Johnson and Sean Clifford.
I honestly don't even know. I've never even heard of either of those guys.
Josh Johnson, you've heard of. He's the one that's been on like 15 different teams. Very old. He's been with
Uh,
multiple teams like 2 or 3 times too.
yeah, I
He's
probably
more of a journeyman than Ryan Fitzpatrick.
just not as accomplished as Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Correct. He's a
Why don't Ryan
journeyman, but he's
Fitzpatrick,
never really
bro?
been a starter.
Fitzpatrick, if you out there, bro, come on, come play. You can
I
come
know,
handle
right?
football. You can
Y
come handle it with the Dolphins this year.
So the Jaguars have 4. They've got Carter Bradley and Joey Aguilar. I don't
Again,
know who that
I
is.
don't know either one of those. Are they fucking Eagles got Cole Payton? We may be fucked, man. I think there's like four names out there that would be
You
like
got Will Levis and Hendon Hooker on the, Titans.
you can't bring Will Levis over here, bro. Like that's gonna
Would be
cause some
so
beef
fucking
right
funny.
away, bro.
Would be so
Imagine they
fucking funny.
imagine Jeff Halfley walks into the quarterback room and is like, "Oh, welcome in our newest quarterback, Will Levis." Like Malik Willis gonna flip a shit, bro.
What about Hendon
Like,
Hooker? That's I would take Hendon Hooker.
so that makes five names so far.
Oh, that was the 4th name, was Hendon Hooker.
Oh, that was the fourth name.
Yeah. Yeah, they have that's on the Jaguars. The Jaguars, oh, sorry, the Titans. They have, Mitch Trubisky as
I would take Mitch Trubisky.
he's
I
their
would take Jimmy
backup.
Garoppolo too if we could get him.
I don't
But
think
I
the
think it
Titans
would
would drop Mitch. I think they would drop Will Levis or Hendon Hooker first.
I think to get Jimmy Garoppolo, we would need to pay him some kind of hefty contract. At least I don't know. Is Jimmy because Jimmy's not on a team right now, right?
I'm not sure. What about the Colts? They've got, behind Daniel Jones, they've got Riley Leonard, Anthony Richardson, and Easton Stick.
I don't know if I could do Anthony Richardson, but he might not be a bad option for us, right? If you think about
That's
it,
one of
like
those
he's
high upside, low expectation, high upside.
oh, but like to know that he just like quit on his team and walked
That's
off
a
the
hard one to
field
get
on a
by.
third
Yeah,
down, bro. It's like, bro, you really
that's a
just did
career
that?
killer. I know,
Like, oh
I
my
know.
gosh, to think if you were to do that for us, I would like throw a fucking something through my television.
I don't
Like
know
you
what his
didn't.
contract is either because he was a, first round pick. I don't know what he actually is getting paid. They might not cut him just purely on whatever his contract is.
So they're saying that Jimmy G is an unrestricted free agent, which makes sense. I didn't think he was on a team right now. But like, so what would that mean to like pick up a guy like that? Because honestly, out of all
I
the
would think so.
options that we would have available, like I feel like that would be the best one, right?
Yeah, I think so. It depends on what we're trying to do this season. Are we trying to get someone that just wins a game, or are we trying to get someone that we want to keep around as Malik's backup long term? 'Cause Jimmy G would be
Well,
a one and done kind of thing.
yeah, and I think that's really scenarios out to figure out like what the routes they should take at QB, right? So hypothetically, we go into bye week. We're sitting there 2-3 or 3-2, looking really good. Malik Willis is showing out. Comes out the next week against the Jets, gets a win there, looking really good, but then like suffers a small injury. Now he might miss 2 weeks. Nothing serious, but like we're just going to give him 2 weeks because we got a backup quarterback that we can go out there and know we can possibly still get 2 wins out of. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now we don't have to rush you back instead of like having Quinn Ewers come out or Cam Miller come out, who's probably going to lose based on what we've seen so far. Now you have to rush Malik Willis back. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, okay, you re-aggravate that injury, et cetera. There's all kinds of things that can expound from that. But I mean, it's hard to answer that question now. But if you think that Malik Willis is like even half of the guy you need him to be, then he's going to elevate this team to get them wins in some situations. So you need to you need to have a backup plan in case you need a quarterback to continue winning games. Now, if you don't have that confidence in your quarterback to where it doesn't matter if you win games in his absence or not, then you stick with what we got.
What about Andy Dalton if the Eagles don't keep him?
I would take Andy Dalton. I mean, he's not a runner, older, but he's a veteran, so like I think the football IQ would help him,
Yeah.
especially like being able to come in and learn a new offense and stuff. Like that football IQ would be there. He's not going to be a guy that I can guarantee he's going to go out and win the game, but I think he would be better than what we got at backup.
Yeah. What about on the Bears? They've got Case Keenum. What if he got like released?
Casey Keenum, I don't think
They've got Case Keenum and Miller Moss as their third and fourth.
Casey Keenum has shown like flashes of being able to do something. Been a decent backup quarterback. Like he was a backup quarterback for Patrick Mahomes the last 2 years, right?
Yeah.
You
There's
had
also
Carson
Carson
Wentz.
Wentz.
Yeah, you also had Carson Wentz. Um, but it didn't work out well for the Kansas City Chiefs, so I don't think it's going to work out well for us either. So I would have to pass on that and just roll what we got.
Hmm.
What about Carson Wentz?
Jalen Milroe's a third string because they have Drew Lock in Seattle still. Um, but they again, if you have three QBs, they might just stick with it. Who's after Mac Jones on that depth chart? of San Fran. Oh, that's right, Curtis Rourke and Adrian Martinez in San Fran.
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with either of those guys either.
You take Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew. I think he would be better than what we got in Quinn Ewers and Cam
I do
Miller.
too.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that he's like a permanent good long term backup, but he's
No.
proven that he can come in and lead a team to a victory here and there, especially given the right circumstance, you know. And if this is already a winning team, I think he'd be able to come in and get a win or two if asked if needed. Because under this situation, obviously everything's working out great and this team is gelling and like, you know, it's a well-oiled machine. I'm not saying that that's what it's going to be like. We're hoping that that's what it's going to look like. I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking from yesterday's game, guys. I'm not panicking. I promise. I'm just panicking a little bit.
Or we could bring back Zach Wilson.
I don't think that's an option either, man. He lost his job to Quinn Ewers, and then now Quinn Ewers has gone downhill.
Yeah, there's
But
not
Zach
much more
Wilson,
other than that. You could Kyle Trask, the guy that was used to be on the Bucks, now he's on the Panthers. He was a Florida Gator.
so he's still a young guy.
Yeah, he's relatively young. He was drafted. I don't know when he was drafted actually.
Yeah, see,
Uh,
I think that's where I'm out on. I don't want I don't want to bring in a young guy
got 4
as
years of
a
experience.
backup. Yeah, as a backup QB unless you're proven that you've already like unless you prove you have the measurables. Like a guy like Taylor Green, I think all right, I would take the risk with that, right? Because he's a big guy. Um a big guy. We've seen that he's got the measurables as far as running goes. I don't know how he does in the passing game. I don't watch too much college, so I can't really like go too deep into detail. But he seems like he'd be a guy that would be worth taking the risk on. But I want experience in the backup quarterback position. Like I just I feel like it would be better to have somebody who's been in the league for a little bit and has that football IQ because that's going to be the key. And that's what we're lacking right now. Quinn Ewers seems to not have the football IQ required to run this offense, and Cam Miller doesn't either.
You're gonna have heat up here if you keep saying that.
I'm trying to pull him up here. I've been wondering where everybody's at today, man. This Giants game, they must like scared everybody away. Everybody wants to hide after the Giants game.
I think people are a bit depressed right now because the reality is soaking in just a little bit that that really was just one drive that we saw out of this team.
And we
I
talked
don't.
about it. We talked about it. We needed more than one drive out of our first stringers in that first Commanders game. We
Yeah,
needed more than one drive because had we had got more than one drive, let's say he did two successful drives that looked like that, you
yeah,
know, like we would be a little bit more confident right now after
yeah.
the ass whooping that we got yesterday.
That
Granted,
was my whole take. I wasn't hating on the drive, but really, at the end of the day, it was a bunch of HN and a bunch of Malik Washington short passes. Like we really
yeah,
didn't see a whole lot other than those two throws to Caleb Douglas, which were decent, right? But we didn't see a lot. I
right,
want to see this team
100%.
I want to see this team get vertical. I want to see what he's got throwing the ball. I want to see what he's got with what we didn't see the last 6 years.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to wait for week one for that.
No. And I don't even think it'll be week 1. I think we're gonna have, like, a ridiculously run heavy. I think that offense is gonna look like it did in the first drive of the Washington game. It's gonna be a
But I
lot
do
of
want
Malik
to,
Washington, it's gonna be a lot of Achane.
ladies and gentlemen, I do want to point out that it's not as bad as it seems. Like we got our ass whooped. Yes, the Giants were able to come out and put a drive together, no problem. But you got to understand, they were using Jameis Winston, T. Tracy Jr., Darius Slayton for that whole first two drives. Those guys have already been working together last year, this year. T. Tracy Jr. is not a scrub either. Like he's a pretty decent running back. He would be a clear uh running back two on our squad right now behind A-Chain. No problem. He would beat out Wright. He would beat out Ollie Gordon. No problem. I could put him on. Let's see. I could probably put him as a RB1 on a few other teams. I would have to go around and think like the Commanders. He would be an RB1 over in the Commanders. And Darius Slayton and Jameis Winston have worked together through the years. Like they're both veteran players. Like they've been in the league for 8+ years. So I did expect them to be able to come out here and pick apart our rookie defense. You know what I'm saying? Like that's expected. So don't freak out. It is alarming, but the panic meter should still not be at 10 yet. Like we're at an 8, a 7.5, maybe a 7. You know what I mean? Don't let the panic meter reach 10 yet. It was expected that they come out and whoop our ass with the veteran team that they have to our rookies. And no game planning. Fuck you, Jeff Hafley. You better game plan for the Falcons. I don't want to hear that I'm not game planning bullshit for the Falcons. No, you better scheme up a win here. Or at least, like Joe said, at least double digit scores. Like, let's get two touchdowns. At
I'll
least.
take a touchdown and a field goal, man,
A
at this
touchdown
point.
and a field goal. Sure. I'll tell you why the Dolphin fans are so traumatized, Zabi. It's because it's a little thing called the Miami syndrome, right? So the Miami Dolphins have done things wrong for so long that we're all traumatized. We have the syndrome, right? So we just think that no matter what we do, it's the wrong decision because we've done so wrong for so long. Um, but Greer's gone and it's a new regime in here, so it's a new way of things. So hopefully the decisions that are being made currently aren't wrong and they're correct. But it's still
Yeah,
just speculation and up
we
in the
we've
air.
had
We
a
don't know.
consistent rotating door at head coach for a while. We had the rotating door at QB for a while until we got to, um, what was it, Tannehill.
Right. hmm And then we had Tannehill for a while. Yeah, I remember that. Make sure y'all smash that like and subscribe down there. By the way, join the Discord. All kinds
Yep.
of fun stuff. We got fantasy football shows coming up starting this week. Uh, our
We tried the traditional route, right? Where you develop your QB with Tannehill. We tried it, and the development was so slow, right? We went from a rotating QB thing because we couldn't find it after Marino for like freaking 10 years or
ever. Yeah.
10 plus years, I think. Um, and then we tried the traditional route where you develop someone, and we tried it with Tannehill, and he slowly got better and better and better, and then got hurt. And then we tried the Jay Cutler thing. That didn't work. Tannehill still wasn't working when he came back. And then we
Hey,
had
Paul Pepper, you
Fitzpatrick,
remember
and
when
we
you
felt
remember
like
when we pulled
Fitzpatrick
in?
was stolen from us.
You remember when we pulled in Culpepper?
Yeah, yeah. That was after all the Fiedler Feely Farrat nonsense. Um, and yeah, and then it was Culpepper and Joey Harrington. Then it was Trent Green and Cleo Lemon and John Beck. And we finally got it right with Pennington for 1 year. 1 year. Then we tried that Chad Henne nonsense. That didn't work. Like that whole when did Marino was it the year 2000? That Marino was gone? from 2000 to whenever we drafted Tannehill, 10 years or so. That was just like this disgusting rotation of names. We go from that for a decade plus to Tannehill for what, half a decade? A little bit more than half a decade of Tannehill.
Yeah, it was 7 years.
And and then we get Fitz, and Fitz is finally like we feel like, okay, he's average, right? Like we could at least try to put something together around this, get the guy to sit behind him as he gets into
Yeah.
old age. And then when Fitz is actually doing well, when the guy's supposed to be sitting behind him, he gets taken from us. We all wanted Fitz, dude. We like I remember being like emotional with Fitzpatrick about that. That we were gonna rush in a guy that was coming off of a hip injury.
Yeah, we definitely should have like let Fitzpatrick keep rolling because he was doing fine, like
It
for
might
us.
have
Like
been the year that broke our 26 years without a playoff win.
it could have, it easily could have been. Um, we definitely handled that differently, and
We could have seen we could have
I
seen
feel
what
like
Flores had as a
that's on
coach.
Ross. I think that's on Ross, and maybe that was part of like what started getting Ross to realize he needs to stay out of the football decisions and start hiring in other people. Because he realized like maybe he looked back and was like, man, it was that decision right there that kind of like sent us down this spiral. It wasn't necessarily drafting the guy, right? Because I mean, like if you did your research on the guy, like you probably drafted him for a reason. You saw something that like maybe some of us got regular Joes don't get to see, and like there definitely was potential there, but there was also red flags there as well, if you're in that position. So,
Yeah.
but maybe the mistake was like properly, not treating him properly in his first year, not giving him the
Well,
proper position to go. Like let Fitzpatrick play it out,
I'd
learn
get yeah,
behind him.
I'd go a different way. I'd say if Fitzpatrick got us to the point where we got a playoff win with Flores there, right? That was yeah, that would with Flores there. Um, Flores would have had the standing in our organization to be able to say, "Hey, Tua's not the guy." After seeing him in practice and seeing him in a
Yeah.
game, to where we could have moved on from Tua instead of moving on from Flores. Fitzpatrick could have been the thing that changed all of that with a playoff win.
Yep.
Flores
a
didn't
hundred
have the
percent.
standing in this organization for them to take him not wanting Tua seriously.
And you hit it right on the head. I do believe the rebuild this year that's going on with the Miami Dolphins is going in the right direction compared to the other rebuilds that we've done. So
Yeah.
no, I think we're all on the same. I think most of us Dolphin fans are all on the same page. We just like we express our feelings about it differently, right? Like some of us are more optimistic when we express it, and some of us are more pessimistic when we express it. But like I believe we all feel the same way. Like we all understand that like we're heading in the right direction. It's just that this year itself, there's like there's really no writing on the wall that can tell us it's going to go one way or the other. Like you were saying earlier, Joe, like our window from losses to wins is so humongous that it's like it can either be a 0-17 season or it could be a 10-win season. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
So
We've over the past 14 years, we've had basically two QBs that couldn't get us far enough. Over 14 years. We had 1 year of basically 1 year of Fitzpatrick in the middle of that. And a little experiment with Brock Osweiler, a little experiment with Josh Rosen, a little experiment with Matt Moore and Cutler. See, to think about how those 13 years have gone, and those 13 the last 13 years just kinda slipped by after that QB cycle on basically 2 guys. are 3rd and what, 4th all-time passers. I think that's what Tannehill is, or is it 5th? Yeah, 3rd and 4th. Oh, I was even looking at the screen, walked away. Are you back?
Yeah.
So I was just looking at it. So the last 13 years we've spent on 2 QBs basically that are 3rd and 4th all-time passers. We don't have shit to show for it. Not one playoff
Idleman,
win in our
Idleman
3rd and
said,
4th
Joe,
all-time.
Idleman said you should start a podcast, Joe. I mean, you can do it right here on the channel. You can just tell me a date and a time. And just go ahead and do it. But I wanted to ask you, have you done any best ball drafts yet? Or were you going
No.
to?
I haven't really looked at anything fantasy related. Um, I'm gonna be going to China for a while in October, so I'm gonna be missing a lot of a lot of
Football.
weeks and stuff. So it just hasn't really been something I've looked at too much.
Well, that's why you should check out the best ball, man, because like I said, you just do your draft and then forget it. You don't have to worry about it. And
Right.
it just rolls through.
Yeah, I'll probably look. There's a week between the last preseason game and the season starting, right? Or like an extra week or weekend.
Yeah, an extra couple days, basically. Because now we're
Uh,
starting on Wednesday. It's going to start on a Wednesday. The first game, I believe, is on a
that's right.
Wednesday.
What? Why are they doing that? Just a different network or something?
It's NFL, man, just trying to take over everything, which I don't
Yeah.
blame them. I don't blame them because they're going
Yeah,
to
'cause
need to. They,
when is the, what is it, Australia? When is that Friday or,
no, actually, I think technically the first game is Seattle and Patriots
yeah, the
on
Wednesday
Wednesday
night
night.
one. Yeah.
Yeah,
But then the next game is the Australia one, right?
correct.
I'm gonna look it up. Let's see,
I,
NFL.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right on that.
Yeah, it's on.
Idleman, Idleman said, look for a QB while you're in China. By the way.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Tokyo kicker. There was a guy that like taught himself how to kick on YouTube from Japan, and the Raiders had him on their team. I think as a UDFA, and I
Yeah, I
believe
remember that.
I think they just released him, or they're going to release him. Um, he was missing PATs and stuff.
I'll tell
Let's
you
see.
what, Peyton
Yeah,
had some nice punch yesterday.
Netflix. Was there a game on Netflix last year?
Punch. Wasn't it the Christmas game on Netflix last year?
That's right. Yeah, and it was like it had issues streaming, I think, didn't it? Or
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah, it did. Like So did the fight though too. The Mike Tyson fight had issues while it was going on. The Jake Paul and
I
Mike Tyson fight.
I remember that. The only thing that was clearly shown was his ass cheeks on the screen. Remember that when they were like, interviewing him in the locker room and he like walks away and it's just butt cheeks?
No, I didn't tune in until the fight like started.
Oh,
I was doing other shit. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
I think there was football on at the time. I'm
So
not
they got
sure.
the Thursday night game is the Niners and Rams in Australia, 8:30
Australia
p.m.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's no Friday and Saturday, and then it starts up Sunday.
Yeah, that would make sense because that would give the Rams and the 49ers time to be able to get back um, to the States and kind of get back into motion to play the following week.
Yeah. It's not that bad of a of to travel. Yeah, they've got all the planes that are gonna have the lie down seats and shit. They can basically sleep the entire thing.
Yeah, me and my buddies were talking about it the other day. We were having a conversation about it, and they were talking about some of the planes that you have now can like fly as if they're at a lower altitude, so it doesn't put as much effect on your body as if like you're flying in a plane that feels like it's at like a super high altitude. I've never flown in a plane. I don't really ever plan to, so I don't know. So I just gotta take their word for it. But
Oh, you've
I
never been
guess
in a
like the
plane?
technology nowadays.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm not sure what the altitude has to do with it, but, the way that, like, first class travel now is, like, for international flights, all the seats lie down flat completely. So you could just knock out, like, the entire flight, and it's like I that's what I do when I go to Asia or Europe. If I'm crossing an ocean, I get, like, a lie flat seat because then I'm not miserable when I land. I feel like I just took, like, a great nap. And I can like same day that I land in whatever country it is, I can go do things like immediately because I'm not tired. So like I think these international games with those lie down flat seats, I'm assuming that's how they'll transport these guys all the way back from Australia, is with several planes worth of like those types of seats. I can't imagine they're going to be sitting upright as NFL players and ruin your chances against us the following week.
Yeah, for
Because those
real.
guys, they'll be so sore they can't even practice properly if they're sitting upright. So I'm assuming they'll have several planes worth of those lie flat seats.
Well, I haven't actually looked into it yet, but a buddy of mine had said that the Rams don't even plan on sending everybody out there to Australia. Like they
Right.
might not even send everybody out there to play in week one. Like they're already like chalking that one up as a loss, which like for me it doesn't make sense. I haven't like looked into it, but it is something I intend to look into because like that's not a Super Bowl winning mentality in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I that might be like a decision. If you make that type of decision, I might have to question your chance at the Super Bowl this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely not like the old school grit mentality, but it's more of like a playing chess kind of thing. Load management, I guess. But I don't know
I mean,
who like what would the benefit they're obviously going to be hauling like their starters out there, right?
yeah, but aren't they in the same division though?
Yes. It's a divisional
So
matchup, which
like
is crazy.
you can't any divisional matchup, you can't just like go ahead and chalk that up as a loss. Like you have to fight for that win no matter what. Because it could come down to that loss being the difference between you getting home field advantage or having to play on the road.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe their logic is that it's a 50-50 anyway on that game in Australia. So they might as well keep the necessary people back that they need to ensure that they smoke the Dolphins instead of going to Australia, having a 50-50 out there and then having it 50-50 coming back because
No,
everyone's
I'm saying the Rams. The Rams are the team that said they might not
oh,
send everybody over there. Not the
oh,
49ers, the Rams. Kittle doesn't know if he's going to be able to fly. Kittle might not be playing that game because he may not be cleared to fly, make that flight. Um, and same with I don't know about
Coach.
Kyle Shanahan, but he could be restricted as well.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean the Rams are gonna be a 12-win team regardless. Doesn't it suck to lose a home divisional game to Australia? Like that should not be divisional games going out to
Yeah,
overseas.
no, it definitely shouldn't be. But like those are the games that people want to watch, though, right? At the same
Yeah,
time.
I guess. I mean, I'd rather watch like Rams Bills or something, or Rams. I don't know if they're playing the Patriots. I think they are playing the Bills though.
Well,
Um,
they could have done that game for the Seattle New England game, the rematch.
right, right.
That would have been a great one. You know what I mean? Do the Super Bowl rematch in
Yeah, because
Australia.
people are already
Hell, a
familiar
lot
with
of
the
views for
teams.
that.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
hey, I'm starting to get a bunch of rain coming down out here, so I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to start yelling.
I need to get rolling. I need to start being productive.
Yeah, same here. Got to get my kids. They got school tomorrow, so I might as well go make them take showers and shit. Start being a dad.
Yeah. All right, Cat. Catch you later, man.
I I
Thanks for having me
appreciate you
up.
rolling through, man. Have a
Yep.
good day.
See ya.
It was fun cooking with the real. Get the hottest, realest takes on the internet. Plus, we cook up some fire stuff on the grill. By the way, I heard somebody asking while we were cooking up on the barbecue. We picked us up some hot dogs and some ribs today. Just cooking dinner for the family. Nothing big, no party or nothing today. So just a rack of ribs and some hot dogs. The next time we're gonna be cooking with the real, be cooking up a pork butt that we're gonna turn into some barbecue pulled pork. Probably smoke it up on the grill. I might chop up some more firewood throughout the week. I got to make me a video for Chop Robinson because we want him to get sacks this year. For every sack that he gets, I'm gonna be chopping up a log back there with that axe that you see. That's going to be fun. We got lots of fun content coming for you guys this year. Every Monday, we're going to have our end zone to end zone where we just go through and we conversate about all the best shit that happened the week before. Tuesdays, be on the lookout for your fantasy tune up weekly, where we're going to get you ready for your fantasy matchup so you can win. So all of us can win some money, right? We're going to give you the sleepers, the waiver wire pickup. We're going to tell you who you should sit, who you should start. Trust me, I was nailing them last year. I was nailing them last year. I was helping a lot of people win their fantasy league. So make sure y'all smash that like, smash that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell so you stay tuned in for all of that. We also have a profile page. On our profile page, we have a few links. The most important link there, that Discord link, make sure you go and hit that Discord link so you can join the Discord. It's a great place to be. It's how you can get up here and chat with the AFC Eastie Boys. It's a 24/7 access to our community. Lots of people dropping football content, just talking life, all kinds of other content. It's also where you want to be plugged in if you want to win any of our giveaways. So definitely go check out that Discord. Then another profile link that we got over there is the Macari Shop. Go check out the Macari Shop. It's a place where you can find cool shit that you're not going to find at your local Targets, Walmarts, things like that. These are special finds, antiques, NFL memorabilia, Pokemon stuff, anime, all kinds of random stuff on there. It's also where you're going to find your AFC Eastie Boys merchandise. We got some t-shirts on there available. We got custom made necklaces coming at you as well. Get on there. Let them know the AFC Eastie Boys sent you so you can get an extra discount on your order. And then DCC's rolled back around, ladies and gentlemen. The DCC is rolled back around, ladies and gentlemen. This is my third year, mine and my daughter's third year, going and representing and raising some money for cancer research. Please, it takes a community to make a difference. So if you can spare any change, anything, go find my link, hit my DCC link, go make a donation to Dolphins Cancer Challenge today. Every bit of it goes to cancer research. Since they've started, they've raised $100 million for cancer research. Let's keep it going. For every $500 that we raise, for every $500, I'll run a mile per $500 every single day, all the way up until the 5K. So make me wet. Go hit that link. Go make a donation. Let's make a difference together. But I appreciate all of y'all stopping by, each and every one of y'all hanging out, having fun with us. I appreciate you so much. Make sure y'all smash that like, smash that subscribe if you're new. You won't regret it. Lots of stuff coming for this year. Peace.